What up, cool people? I'm here in Nashville for a Christian creator retreat that I'm going on. Some of them are full-time, some of them are part-time, but we were just in a house and we dove in and we had a nice little retreat to help plan for 2026. I was able to get a critique of my own channel. I learned a lot from other full-time YouTubers. And not to mention, I learned a ton on how to monetize my channel and make some money, so I might be able to do this full-time in 2026. So hang with me here, and at the end of this, I'm gonna reveal to you the one big nugget of wisdom and knowledge that I think is gonna take me and my channel to next levels in 2026, and I think it can do it for you too. But first, we gotta go back to the beginning. Thanks for the ride.
Got it, man.
Drive safe. Love ya. See ya. Alrighty, and we're off. Nice to meet you. Alright, we made it to the house. There's some other fun creators here, and most likely the rest of this video is going to be just like little snippets with this camera and maybe even my iPhone of just hanging out. And probably even taking some recordings of like some different sessions that we're doing, so I'm pretty pumped, honestly. I think the number one thing I'm hoping to get out of this is like, how do I monetize my channel? How do I make money? How do I make this like a legit thing that I could do? I'm also just really pumped to get some other insight of what some other people who are very like-minded think about my channel. Yeah, so let's go.
I think this is the most foundational piece, right? If we get this wrong, it doesn't matter what we do the rest of the week. It doesn't matter how many tips and tricks and hacks and advice and positivity we give you. It doesn't matter. Because the why is the foundational piece of who you are, of what you're creating, what you're working on, right? If these guys weren't passionate about building the promised land and building, what they're doing with Goliath, like, it just would never work, right? Like for you guys, if you're not passionate about doing all the things in your channels and what you're doing, yet you're just doing it because of some arbitrary reason, then it doesn't really matter, right? This is important. It's really, really, really important. So we're going to try to lock down your why. We're going to try to lock down your purpose. In order for you to be anchored to something that is way more important than just, I want a big Instagram, I want a big YouTube channel, I want a big influence, right? It has to be something more important than that, because it just won't last. Like Mr. Beast wants to be the best YouTuber. What happens when he's been the best YouTuber for 20 years? It's going to fall off, right? There's going to be something that happens. And then later on top of that, because we're Christians, because we're Christ followers, it changes things even more, right? What is the purpose of that? Who am I transforming? Who am I changing? Who am I bringing to Christ? Even if it's through a Disney video, right? Which is why I love that we have Dino here. Because a lot of us are kind of Christ forward, whereas Dino is definitely not, right? He's a Disney entertainment channel that wants to be a Christian creator, and have that light and love, just like Ryan Tran in a lot of ways, that light and love through an entertaining video, right? And so you have to think about the why, you have to think about the purpose behind it. So we're going to do a couple different exercises. We're going to kind of walk through some things, and then we'll have a group discussion about what our whys are. Okay. So first thing, here's why your why matters, right? Number one, it keeps you grounded. Okay. So especially when you're not growing. So like Brandon, the last year and a half, you've been struggling through all these things. You're clinging to that why. You're clinging to that comment of like, you changed my life. You're clinging to that moment of, I've had an impact and I see why God has me here. He's clearly done all these other things in my life in the past, and he's led me to this moment, right? For me, it was the exact same thing. Whenever I was struggling with the sniper life, struggling with the chosen sleuth stuff, like, there's so many moments in my life where I've been like, no, I have to continue because I know that God has brought me here for a reason, right? There's no way that God is going to tell me all these things and allow me to be friends with Dallas Jenkins and Adam Drake and Brent Robbins and meet these people in my life, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. Like, that doesn't make any sense. you know? And so that I think is huge. It keeps you grounded during the hard times, during the struggles. It shapes the content that you make. This is another huge piece. Because if you have a certain why, right? If my why is, I want to be the biggest YouTuber, I'm going to make videos like Mr. Beast, right? I'm going to make the most vibrant, colored, loud, strong sort of like retention editing video, right? That's what I'm going to make. Because I want to just get as many people as possible. I don't care if they're 2 years old, I don't care if they're 100 years old, right? I'm going to get as many people as possible. But if my why is to deeply connect with somebody for a Bible study, it's going to be completely different, right? Like you're going to see in my video. A lot of you are probably going to say that my video for Saturday is a bit boring and a bit slow. But I also know the audience that I've had previously and the audience that I'm trying to reach, right? Which is probably middle-aged dudes.
Out of a few different wedding videos. But still work on wedding days.
I feel like if I could do anything and money wasn't a factor, I would probably want to be an actor or do like in-person theater, live theater, improv. I love just performing for other people and like bringing characters to life. It's something I like since college and high school I haven't really been able to utilize as much. But either that or Cody Code, what he's got going on is pretty great. You just film a video in your room, make fun of yourself, and then have an editor make fun of you in the edit.
I was going to cancel for something like that.
Of course, that's it. Yes. So, the other side of that.
Question number 2. What problem, pain point, or spiritual need do you feel compelled to solve or speak into?
Instill belief in giving people the tools and the insights to actually believe in themselves, gain confidence, overcome doubts. Also love to challenge people, kind of see some truth, speak some truth into the situation when I'm talking to people, kind of like that. But yeah, overall peace, life, speak life, hope.
I wrote 3 things, but 2 of them are pretty like not kind of like the same things at all. The first one is helping people just see how cool the Bible is, just with all the little connections. And something else that I wrote that I noticed about myself within the last 12 months, and then a friend who also experienced the same thing that I thought was just me, which was like falling into like self-development apathy, where like I was consuming so much like Hermosi and people like that, and so that I was starting to become apathetic a little bit, because even though Ecclesiastes talks about this beautifully, it's just like, oh, like stuff is meaningless, like who cares who's gonna see you if it doesn't matter in 10 years, like why does it matter now? But like if you follow that to a point, you start to feel very like apathetic in life sometimes. And I felt myself start to feel a lot of apathy, which as a Christian I think is just not a good place to be in. Because like we're supposed to have life, and that's supposed to be us, and I felt like I did have that. But I was so like consumed by that sort of thinking where that I just started to feel apathy in my life about there were so many things that I feel like I should be excited about that I'm not, because I'm so focused on the next thing and like and then I remember I was talking to my friend who were both Christians, and he was feeling the same way, and I was just like, oh, so it wasn't just me. It's like, why am I not excited about these little things that everyone else is excited about? Or why am I not sad about certain things? And I'm just like, oh, just shake it, because it's not gonna matter in 10 years, so we just shake it up now. And so like feeling that emotion type thing. And then I realized, and it's not this one channel that just kind of came up on my recommended like 3 weeks ago. This guy does like biblical self-development or redeeming productivity, I think is his YouTube channel. And then I was just like, wow, that's literally speaking to a pain point that I had. And now that I recognize it, I wonder how many other people are like my friend who experience that too. And that's like completely, it's a little bit different from how do people see how cool the Bible is, but that was just in my thought.
keep on diving deeper. All of these things that you're hearing, like Dino's, for example, I'll take his first answer. Like I would want to be an actor, or I would want to be on stage, or I want to entertain people. Like what is the core of that? You know, because that's the surface level answer.
Right.
That's the answer of like, this is what I would want to do, and then you find your why by just diving into that. So like for you, what you really want to do is bring people joy, right? Like that is the core.
Yeah.
And so if you can bring people joy, that's what you would want to do with your life, right? So the same thing with you. Like think about that. What is deeper than that? Because it's not just these two things that are just like this is kind of the pain points that I want to take care of, but it's why do I want to take care of those things? For Eric, I think it comes from his life, and his self-doubts and what he's gone through in his life. And because of that, he wants to serve the people that are similar, right? Or to fix the things that people have, that he's gone through, that people are going through now, right? And he's helped me a ton. And just in the last, couple of years that we've known each other, we've walked through a ton of different things. And the times that we get to sit down, I learned so much from him because of the experience that he has, So as we keep on answering these questions, just keep on digging deeper.
I think it, as I think about it, it stems from me wanting to tell people that their lives actually have purpose, and that they can go through these cycles. Like they can listen to the Hermoses, but he's a nihilist at the end of the day. It's like all this stuff doesn't matter. But the message of the Bible and that Jesus is that there is meaning to it. Your day-to-day work does matter. You're not just gonna become fertilizer in the ground when you die. Like there's eternal meaning behind the stuff that you do. And so I think for me, this kind of makes me, is like when people start to realize that when we were made to be imagers of God, it's like there was a purpose behind it. And I think especially in our generation now, it's like that's just completely lost. And we're like even the data shows that young men are just so purposeless right now. Like my demographic is just aimlessly wandering. And that's why they draw to people like Jordan Peterson and Hermosi and Andrew Tate, and because these people are saying that this is my version of what it should be, but what does the Bible say, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
It's good.
Anyone else on that question?
Yeah, I would say thinking kind of deeper is I care a lot about Gen Z, Gen Alpha, somewhat millennials, I'm just kidding. But we grew up in like a very, we're the first generation that has access to technology in the way that we do. We consume more information in a single day than people in the 50s would consume an entire year. I mean, you're always getting blasted with something, whether it's an ad, whether it's whatever. I have this deep goal for people and kind of like to understand who they are and understand who God is on a much deeper, more personal level. I have kind of like in my mind that Gen Z specifically is kind of like a Joshua type generation in which we have great leaders of the past who have modeled things for us, kind of like Moses, if you will. And now we're getting called up to kind of take this new thing into the promised land. Not even the promised land.
Let's go.
that was all an ad.
But through content, and I think we have an incredible calling and a demand on our lives to point to them, and it doesn't have to be overtly Christian in our way. If I may, one of the biggest examples I saw of this was, has anyone seen the series Beef on Netflix?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it.
Yeah, it's not Christian at all. I mean, zero.
Planting seeds that way, they start sparking conversations about how we can, get them to have a relationship with God. Because I feel like a lot of things will be a lot better if they knew God.
I feel like for me, I mean, you kind of hit it on the head when you're like moments of joy. Is like, I think the comments that actually, I didn't think about it until I started reading these comments, and it's kind of influenced a lot of what I do now, which is what I hope changes or what I hope happens for people watching is like, I really want the Holy Spirit to be welcomed here.
I strategically timed.
Perfect job. it's a lot of either couples, families, or kids. Mainly it's like parents and couples. Like, we just sat on the couch and laughed together so much from this video. Like, thank you for making this. And so I think I wrote down here is like that moment of like people just sitting and laughing together. Like, that's a moment you end up not forgetting typically, whether it's at a park, at your home on the couch, or out in the real world. So
I love this sign actually. That it ties in perfectly. We were together. I forget the rest.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like if you can give them that feeling, it doesn't matter if they remember your video in 10 years. Right. They remember that Dino gave us that feeling. You know.
Totally.
Yeah. For me, it is. For me, I kind of explained this a little bit last night to a lot of you, but I very strongly feel that God told me that I need to reach Jerusalem, which means like if you think about the Great Commission, you know, I want you to go to Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, and Antioch, right? Like I want you to go out into these rings of circles that go from this really small area to out. And what is Jerusalem? Jerusalem is the holy city, right? It is the place where everybody knows God, everybody worships God, everybody goes to the temple. Every single rhythm of the entire city is about religion and about God, right? It is the holy city. And so for me, God said, go to Jerusalem, and I want you to talk to those people, because a lot of them don't actually get it, right? And so for me, it comes down to a comment that I got, a few weeks or months ago, which is like, the hope that I have that it changes people is Margaret, who lives in Scotland. She's 73 years old, and she said, I've been to church my entire life, and I've always heard the pastor, I've always listened to the pastor, but because of your videos, now I'm starting to understand what this 50 years of church actually meant, right? And when he said, when he's talking about these specific things, I never understood them, I never even thought to ask, right? But because of your videos, I'm starting to understand these things, right? That, for me, is what I hope changes in them. That they come to a point where, they see the Bible's cool, and then they're able to act on it, then they're able to actually use these things and utilize them. I don't want to be just.
Nils, tell me about this sandwich.
It'll change. I think.
I call it Giggle Witch.
Okay.
And it's missing some lettuce, but I think I'm making up for that in the fact that it is 4 times the size of what it should be.
Let's just see some hand comparison here. That's amazing. Wow.
Wish me luck.
You got this, bro.
How do you suggest? Well, Dino, what do you think first, and then maybe we can brainstorm with you. Through explain first what the hell and heaven is for your audience. What is the hell? What is the heaven? And then we can kind of dive into show you how to.
So the backstory, real quick, to preface all of this is, kind of like I mentioned earlier, is I do think the blue ocean for me is the fact that like I'm kind of tricking them into learning about how to go to Disney. Is kind of like my mentality of where pretty much everyone else in the space who's big is just straight up like, go to this place, go to this place, go to this place. And it's very like, here's how to do it, where I structure all of mine from more of an entertainment and narrative storytelling framework. Like it was cool, I think, to highlight this was I did run into someone at the park while I was filming a video, and they're like, dude, I saw your pool video, and me and my dad, because of your pool video, we're staying at this hotel because we saw your video and we were like, dude, I want to stay there. So I was like, it kind of came to me as you were kind of talking. I was like, okay, like there is some value, even though maybe I didn't initially think, I'm gonna try and convince people to go to this hotel. There was value in that for them because they saw it and they're like, I want to go to that pool. So I guess the hell is, frankly, it's like a lot of people spend, first off, Disney is continuing to increase in price every single day. So you've either got people flying in, driving in, coming in, who have to at least drop $10,000 just to afford a trip to Disney with their family. So it's a lot of money, and they have very limited amount of time. That's $10,000 that might get them 5 days. And that's like a bare minimum if they're staying at the cheapest hotels. Now it could go lower if they're not on property, but whatever. So I think the easy answer is like just tons of money. It's just they don't want to waste all of their money and that's why they end up optimizing their vacation so much, and why that's such a very popular thing that other creators are selling or doing and showcasing is people want to make sure they're coming in prepared. They want to make sure they're coming in and they're doing everything that they should do to have the best trip possible for their family. And I think in line with that is a lot of people don't know what they don't know. So they don't know that there's Christmas storytellers in Epcot every other hour. That is actually way more fun to do than riding all the rides at Epcot during Christmas time. So they want to know everything about their trip. So the hell you could probably also list as like lack of knowledge and fear of missing out, almost, you could say. That might in turn lead to wasted time, wasted money, wasted vacation hours.
I think that you just have the core. I think FOMO
Yeah.
is the core of like what I would think of if I had kids and I was bringing them to Disney. I'm like, how can I experience the best possible thing? Well, I don't know what I don't know, so I'm gonna miss out on everything, and I'm gonna pick the wrong things to do. Yeah, for sure.
Totally. That's good. And then I think the heaven is potentially different for everybody, but at least I know for myself, and as we're like the most recent session, as well as I think through like what transformation do I want that I feel might be unique to what I believe about the parks, having worked there, having gone there for my whole childhood, and kind of like what I told you, like I haven't stepped into a Disney theme park and not known everything about it. I have a lot of experience there. So what I've found over time is the theme parks themselves are so much more fun when you do less. Like the less you do, you actually, and you appreciate, okay, we have a line that's 120 minutes or even 3 hours long. Is it worth that? Actually, if you do it right and if you pick the right ride, yeah, because then you get time with your family in a line, hopefully with no phones. If you're doing it, in my opinion, if you're doing it right, you get to talk to each other, and then it could lead to a good payoff with the ride. Like me and my siblings still talk about a moment where we waited almost 3 to 4 hours in line for this the Animal Kingdom Avatar ride. And we all agreed, we're like, it was worth it. Like, it was so fun. So I feel like my heaven is almost like helping people have a trip that they can link back memories and talk through for the rest of their lives almost. And even like, I think about me and my siblings, we just went to Epic Universe together, and it was the first time in a while, and probably the last time in a long time, that we were all together in the city and experiencing a theme park together for the first time ever. And it was going to be just me and my brother, and my sister, she has like no money. She like just got a job for the first time, so she was like, she has like $500 in her bank account. She's like, do I cut 2/3 of my bank account just to have this day with y'all, or put it on a credit card and risk, having to deal with that? Like, what's more worth it to me, that or being able to have that day with my siblings and we talk about it for the next 20 years? And she ended up deciding to just go ahead and pay the ticket. But I think about like, that's probably a conversation and a thought a lot of people would like to know they made the right decision on.
I would distill it in probably one word. I would say your heaven is the perfect family vacation. It is that idyllic sort of like, I have a picture of like a picture of my family in front of the castle. They're all smiling, they're all happy. How can I make that a reality?
Us 4 words.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
So how would you walk through that?
Yeah.
In terms of your YouTube videos, obviously, are to show you.
Yeah.
Showing you the heaven of, I'm having such a great time, this is amazing. Look at all the fun that I'm having, stuff like that. But how do you move?
Yeah, I mean, I also think like there can be practicality to it in terms of like you're talking about what do you do in a 3-hour line that makes it a memorable experience. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would title the video that way, right? But that would be the image I showed somebody of like you can even have the most amazing experience in line. You know. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're taking the most atrocious part of the parks and somehow trying to make it a memorable experience.
Yeah.
Like we talked about before on the phone, you know, like Disney is the hero of
Right.
the videos. Yeah, so how can we show that? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like a lot of my ideas stem from that concept of like, how do I take things about Disney that maybe people weren't initially thinking about and make it that entertaining, so that like something that stood out to me is I have friends who have reached out to me. They're like, hey, my son, you have ruined the parks for them because every time we go to this one area of the park, they just say the quote that you said from that video every time. And I'm like, let's go. And so it's like, that's kind of low key a goal of mine, is just to ruin certain aspects of the park. So that way when people show up, they're like, oh, Dino did this thing. Yeah, that's right. Enhance the experience.
But that's part of building a community too. It's just,
Yeah.
you have your own language.
Yeah.
That you've developed, own words and phrases, catchphrases.
That's good.
That's really good. That's
Yeah.
a hook.
That's really helpful, because sometimes it's like I don't know what I'm saying sometimes in the moment. I'm just riffing, but to realize that some of those things stick with people is really interesting. I would think my how-to is, I guess the easiest thing I could think of is just kind of like what Brandon and you've mentioned too, is like, even if I just have some sort of easy downloadable guide for, I think where I get hung up on this sometimes, and I definitely overthink, is like, there's so many variations where it's like, okay, do I make it for the whole parks? Do I make it for one single park? Some sort of downloadable checklist or guide of like, what do you need to do in this park? What do you need to do if you're trying to hit all 4 parks? If you're trying to also do...
I think for you it's probably less boring than that. Like, I think it's more of like, play Dino's challenge. And it's like, pick one of these 3 things, and pick one of these 3 things, and pick one of these 3 things, and then you'll have the perfect day, you know?
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
making it more entertainment focused might be the move for you.
Dino Day, Disney.
Complete these 3 challenges in this line.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. That's good.
Dino's is the day.
Yeah, the how to
Triple
like
D.
checklist of like fun things to do, and it could be like a free thing. Like,
Yeah.
Here's my
Just for free.
here's my Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Or here's
You know,
my-
that's great. Like something to take to the park.
Yeah.
You know.
You do it free for one part as a sample, and have it as a guided package.
For multiple other parks and stuff.
map.
A map.
Like,
Yeah.
adventure.
Almost like my own map that they could potentially bring to the parks, like they get. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, Dino's way. Kind of thing.
I think that fits your brand a lot.
This is the
Yeah.
nuts and bolts of this, but do not give that to anybody without capturing an email or phone.
Yeah, right.
Like automate the mess out of it.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really good.
Which isn't.
I like that. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Because I was just going to say, I really like where this is heading, because that's, I think, something where I get caught up is like, I see what other people do, and it's just a PDF with bullet points. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's so boring, and it just
It
feels,
almost be like a treasure map or something.
yeah.
You can get a designer like from Etsy
Right.
or Fiverr or whatever and say, hey, here's what I want and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
you can sell.
Yeah.
Sell or give that away for free to get them into the help you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you can, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you know, give them like something tangible maybe that they can print and bring to the park.
Right.
Let's go to Dino's next thing.
Yeah.
They have to give you their email holder.
Yeah, right. The marketing mind. Yes.
Yeah. Just like to emphasize that you own nothing until you own their email.
Yeah.
Like, it's so important.
Still.
Their social point, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
How do we move into help you?
One more thing about that, I think, just to point out, like, as others are thinking about their own, what's so good about, like, however you want to call it, Dino's Guide to the Perfect Day or Dino's Adventure, like, the key is that the heaven is so obvious in the name of it,
Interesting.
right? Like, the perfect day, you know, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're communicating that, like, right up front.
That's really good.
So yeah, what does help you look like?
I've thought through this. Like I kind of mentioned this last night, but I was like, what if, like, no, that's more of I guess a take you. It was like if I gave them my own guided tour in person, but Disney will shut you down if you do like your own guided tours. But maybe for help you, maybe that's me. I don't know. You tell me. The first thing that comes to mind is either a one-on-one or a group planning session where I'm like, hey, if you want, I can help you personally pick out what you should do with your family.
Yeah.
We can hop on a Zoom. Yeah.
For that family.
I think it's absolutely something that's cohort driven.
Yeah.
Just like Zoom call.
But I do think that is a take you.
Yeah.
Because I think
okay.
you are custom bespoke planning their day. Like help you is more of a like I'm gonna give you the things and you can go figure it out. Take you is like I'm doing the whole thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, then go ahead.
I was just gonna say like with that, I'm thinking that same thing. Like if you're building anything custom for each customer left or right, that's the take you since you can't physically take them there yourself.
Right.
I think the in between of the how to and the take you here. The how to is like you're giving them this kind of blanket 30,000 foot view asset, but then the help you is maybe it's a monthly Zoom call where you're focusing on a specific park, and people are paying $15 to access that call, where there will be a Q&A.
Okay.
And you limit that to 15, 20 people.
Right.
Or it's the challenge model of they pay, would they pay $100 or $200 or something to, you help them do it.
Yeah.
Is there a world in which a membership works with this, do you guys think?
Because I feel like the membership I think this is where it's kind of tricky. Is I feel like you've either got like I mentioned, the family that this is their Super Bowl moment where they've saved up, they go once a year or once a decade. But then you've also got the annual pass holders who either do live in Disney, live outside of Disney, and they're going to Disney all the time. And so I'm wondering, like, to what level of that, how do I think in my brain, I feel more for the this is their Super Bowl moment, those types of families, because the annual pass holders typically either may know more than I do, or they're just in a different headspace. Those are your like Disney adults who are just like, did you know Mickey meets at Disney Springs only on Friday at whatever? And I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about like if you want to really have a good time with your family, like you want to really walk away with that. So I wonder if like a membership, I don't know. That's where I kind of.
I look at it as like, there's probably a lot of people, we know a lot of adults that go to Disney, but you can only go to Disney and see so many things so many times. And then this would bring an entirely new flavor to it, to where like, I'm almost sick and tired of Disney, but I still love Disney. It's like what'll bring me back to the parks to continue going, to do what I love kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think some kind of fun, self-guided course that you create, something fun though, that's adventurous, that suits your personality and is, just full of great activities maybe that the family can do together.
Yeah.
That they fill out and they just work through it. And I don't know what the price point is, but something like $197 or something like that, because
You can do a virtual tour, right? I mean, you can film yourself at the park.
Yeah.
So why don't you just do a tour, like, since you can't do it physically, like, I think that could be a part of it too, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Self-guided sort of like online
Well,
pre-tour.
maybe it's just me not knowing, but why couldn't that be like Brandon Robbins' $1,000 a month thing where once a year you get a personally guided like challenge with Dino?
He just said he's not allowed actively.
Okay,
What if
you're
you
not
just
allowed
go
to.
to
They
Disney
should-
with your friend?
Whoa, what are the odds that y'all are here today?
What if you just go there? And then
Yeah.
Alright, I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah, because like otherwise there'd be a bunch of third-party tour guides that just go in and.
Yeah.
I think we're missing like one obvious one here, which is merch. Like
merch, the merch.
That's a good point.
candies and matching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely merch is
That-
but I don't think it follows the
Merch is make your own Mickey here. I don't know.
merch is an important
All
part.
of your
Yeah.
plans. It needs to be it.
It's an important part of their and you know how to get us that merch.
imagine multiple families with Dino merch.
Oh, totally, dude.
Yeah.
They all have
Maybe
mullets.
that's the plan.
Mouse hat with a mullet.
No, I'm saying like, kid, like, oh, here's my kid. Like,
Yeah.
someone else is wearing Dino's merch. Like, grab my kid.
I do like that a lot because I feel like that's something that fires me up. Is I get a little heated whenever I see families with really cruddy, like Johnson family trip 2025. I'm like, bro, you could have had so much more fun with this shirt. And there's like other aspects to it.
Well,
that-
like I'm looking at your journal, like this
Yeah.
thing. This is like totally cool. Nobody has
you.
that. Dino's business journal. It's like decorated and like that
No
could be a
girls
really
allowed.
cool item for everybody to use and you know.
Yeah.
Plus then the merch. You know,
Yeah.
You can also like personalize with your branding their merch for their family trip.
Yeah.
And you do that through Etsy. Etsy will literally do it and ship it out for you.
Yeah.
And like it's got your, maybe you develop a little logo and your face and then
Yeah.
Dino's perfect day. And
Right.
then you also sort of become a pseudo mini celebrity at Disney. People start recognizing
Yeah.
branding. People start recognizing the brand. They're like, I saw like 4 people today.
Yeah.
Dino's perfect day. What is
Yeah.
it?
Like, what is that?
You know.
You can't take them personally, but your merch can certainly.
And
go
they'll
with
be
that.
not
Yeah.
only which you get the opportunity that they'll be at the place that you want them to be at, or the people that you want. Like you're hitting not only like the core audience, but like in the head. Like, you know, so like you go to them and you tell them like wear this, and then you can turn that into like content. Hey,
Yeah.
Dino's like eat everything at Universal Challenge or something.
Yeah. Think.
Dino's eat a churro under 30-second videos. Set like record yourself.
Stuff
and
doing
shot,
that.
repost it. I mean,
And you can even make it as hyper fixated if it's a higher paying package per se. Of like, you send them a care package before the fact. Like a disposable camera.
Dude.
Their trip, they send their disposable
Dang,
camera.
that's great.
And that's content for you. I
A
see
year
more.
from now, Dino just has 1,000 disposable.
Yeah.
Whoa! Oh, which one is it?
And that's what you get in the industry.
Yeah.
you can start that like now.
Yeah.
You like say, hey, one of you, I want to send you like a giveaway.
Yeah.
I want to send you a camera. I want you to go to Disney. I want you to send me back,
Yeah.
Right.
like make that a challenge. Like get a picture of this, get a picture of this. You do so much.
Dino's Disney on disposal.
Dang, all the D's. I like this.
I love alliterations.
Yes.
Alright
This is
guys, I
great.
might have to throw my name in here as well. We might be doing
Dang, we might have to do this.
Let's go to Nils.
Yeah.
One
This
more
is great.
thing. Yeah, one more
Thank
thing
y'all.
for Dino. Like as you go through Help You, I think one of the places we kind of like sidetracked is thinking of the what. Like what are the avenues, like memberships, things like that. Whereas I think your question up front needs to be, what would they want? Like what would they be saying, I need this to be able to have it. I don't necessarily want you to do it for me, but I need this, right?
Yeah.
And you know they need it maybe before they even know they need it. Like
Right.
so if like you know that having all the same stuff that they're wearing together just makes it feel more epic, like you're helping them, like I'll help you create that, right? Or like I want to book my own trip but I don't even know what to do or how to make it epic. I'll show you how to do that. Like those sorts of things. And whether it's a course or a membership or whatever, you're figuring out later. What you need to figure out first is what is it that they need.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. I'm like an ideation.
I love it. Let's go.
For later down the future,
Uh-huh.
you could develop like game cards for families at Disney.
Yeah.
That could be like this pack is for like inline stuff. So
Ooh.
it's like while you're in line, do this. Like whoever draws the card,
Right.
has to do whatever challenge. Don't talk for 30 minutes. If
Yeah.
you do, whatever. So you can develop like you can gamify their
The experience.
on top of that.
Yeah.
Which again, you can have someone else design it for you. You sell it in packs, and
Yeah.
that'd be kind of killer. Honestly.
That's sick. That because I actually funny you mentioned that is when me and my siblings went to Universal, my sister brought a game called Slip It In. Have y'all heard of that? It's basically you get three phrases. I know it's hilarious. But you get a phrase that you have to say throughout your day, and if you say it and no one catches you after 10 seconds, you slipped it in and you won a point. And so the first 1 to 5 points wins. And I was just like, this is such a cool concept throughout the day, that I was like, man, that is really cool. So it's just on your point, like, that's a whole spot for me to kind of ideate on.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was gonna mention, because have you seen what a lot of the PokeTubers do, like challenges they do?
No.
Because PokeTubers are wild.
Yeah,
bro.
they'd be
They're
wild.
all middle-aged men too.
Yeah.
Because first question I have is there, when it comes to like Disney and Universal, you know how like Pokemon cards hold value, like really great value. And that's kind of like the asset. Is there anything similar to that with like Disney, like collectibles, stuff like that you can like kind of capitalize on for content?
This is where it's interesting, is like there's a lot of different versions of that with Disney. Disney does a really good job of like creating their own like pins, Loungefly bags, which I think are really ugly, but like everyone's obsessed with them. Yeah, all sorts of different merch items, like ears.
Yeah, because what PokeTubers do, like they'll do like challenges. We'll be like, I need to collect
every
250
single
or whatever these cards in like a certain period of time. And then if they don't get like the amount of cards, they literally give away the entire binder. And they give away to kids. They give us like, here kid.
Yeah.
And it's like the kid just has like $10,000 like all of a sudden
of
Pokemon cards. And it's fun because sometimes you don't win the challenge, like you don't make it in the 24 hours or 40 hours, so you have to like give away the stuff. And you just give it away to a kid and it looks nice and everyone's like, oh, like the kid has a bunch of collectibles. Yeah. So I've seen PokeTubers do that and it works really well for them because it's that kind of like standard, I mean, maybe if you want to say like Mr. Beast challenge, and you could win and you could not win.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a kid gets blessed with a bunch of like really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's really good.
We can go on to Nils. We'll focus on Dino's channel tomorrow night as well. So if you guys have any ideas for Dino, just hold it till then, and then we'll
Hold it. Michael over here thinks he can beat me in some darts, eh?
You're about to get smoked, fam.
Nils, do you think you can beat me in darts? Because I think I'll destroy you.
I think you would too.
That's no fun. Come on! These are my go-tos. Here's my current setup with darts. Is you just grab like this and you hit them with the flick of the wrist. The flick of the wrist. Oh!
She broke the thing.
Whoops. Show me the sauce. Oh. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Dang. You're about to learn how to correctly break a pool table set of balls. The trick is to hit it. Like so. Now the best thing you want to do is not get any of the balls into the pockets. Right, Michael?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Dang. I got 2 in.
I got 2!
Departure of the unknown world, strangeness, conflict, growth through challenges, peak crisis, return home, changed. What's unique about that one is, and you can have the change aspect in most of these story arcs. Hold up, I just thought something amazing.
Can I take a picture of the paper when you're done?
Yeah. What's that word?
Superficial?
Yeah, that's word. And then what's the next word that's in my head that I can't think of?
Artificial?
No.
Stop letting it down.
Yeah, you're really letting me down. There we go, personal.
I can't read minds.
Comedy, it doesn't really apply. Tragedy does not really apply. And then, do I have Rebirth on there twice? No. And then Rebirth, what we already talked about. So once you, and this works for every type of story. And if you guys are making a lot of shorts content is great. Be aware of it, because shorts content is not long form content, and you have to be. It sometimes can bring a different audience, and that can hurt you. Audience is, everything needs to be audience first. Who's my audience? What am I making this for? How do they talk? How do they do stuff? You need to make sure you have audience alignment. Also, just fill you guys in, 100% like a case study ADD. So I will go multiple different places, and I will go off my notes. Oh man, I had something really great to tell you guys. It was so good. All right, let's go back to this. So learn that stuff. Okay, learn that stuff. Dive into that stuff. And short content is the same. It's the same thing. Shorter video. It's got the same stuff. It's got the same story characteristics. So learn that. Also, A/B story. It's hard to do it. It's really hard to do with short content, but long form content. Learn the A/B storyline. Trahan's really good with it. If you know Trahan, Rover, all those guys are really good at the A/B storyline. And the best way the A/B storyline has been explained to me, and I won't get into C storyline, but that C storyline is a thing. Well, I can tell you what it is. A storyline is the superficial reason why you're doing it. I'm building the world's fastest lawnmower. Somewhere, that's what gets the hooks. Oh, cool! He's building the world's fastest lawnmower. That's awesome. Somewhere in the first third of a storyline, you reveal the actual reason why you're doing it, and that's a personal reason. You know what I mean? So track with me. I'm building the world's fastest lawnmower. Oh, it's pretty cool. It's got a crazy lawnmower with a big engine. That's interesting. I want to watch it. And then in the first third, you find out that the actual reason why you're doing it. And it's like, man, when I grew up, I was an orphan, and I had this lawnmower, and it sucked. But the guy next to me had a faster lawnmower, and he was always making fun of me. And I vowed right there, I would build the world's fastest. Like when you hear that, you're like,
yeah,
all right. Like it's a connecting thing, and you connect with that person, even though like it's not your thing, but you kind of see yourself in like, okay, yeah, I've been made fun of when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And now they want to watch it more. And then you set up like a better ending. We're not just going to race this. We're going to go back and become the great, So A storyline, superficial. B storyline is what gets you into the personal. Every video needs a hook, an intro. Sometimes the intro is the hook, and then it needs a setup. The guy who I think does this the best is Mark Rober. And if you watch Mark Rober, like if you ever want to get inspired, just go watch any Rober video in the past like 5 years. It'll be a very clear hook. Oftentimes the intro, and that'll give you a reason to why to watch the thing. And then you'll see some cool stuff really quickly, and then he'll be like, all right, here's the plan. The plan ropes you deeper. It's much more, you know what I mean? Like, think of this, like, I broke into this bank to steal $1 million. Okay, I'm interested. Show some cool stuff, like really quick, like a quick little montage. And you notice his montages, a lot of times he says how long the montage will be. We're doing a 7-second montage, cool. You know how long it's gonna be. And then after that, the setup, how he's gonna do it. Have you guys ever heard of like how people want to do presentations? Tell them what you're gonna tell them. Tell it to them, and tell them what they told them. The story is kind of the same way. And this is a tool that we have. I'll get to that a little later. So hook, intro, setup. These all should be done if you're making long form content in the first minute and a half. Like the first 15 seconds is crazy valuable. The first Once that's dialed in, make sure the first 30 seconds is crazy. I say it should be like a time warp. You should be able to watch that first like 3 minutes and be like, what just happened? Remember the first time you guys jumped on TikTok?
Yeah.
And you woke up 3 hours later? You're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should feel like that. The first couple minutes of your video should be that quick. And it should be fun for you guys to watch. It should be really, really quick. And then it can slow down a little bit. You are not guaranteed any seconds of watch time. I'm, with my bigger channel, Bikes and Beards, I can still, and I've got, with all the subscribers I can still and have recently posted videos I've gotten only a couple 100,000 views. Like, I'm not guaranteeing any views, I'm not guaranteed any watch time. Now Sean's Farm is different. Sean's Farm is a whole nother game where that's more of like a hangout. On Sean's Farm, we posted a 50-minute uncut video. So it's just a completely different game, but it was part of the strategy, and it's just more of hanging out with me. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be a huge, giant, broad audience type of thing, and it's going to grow really slow, but we'll talk about that later. So why did I put that there? All right, back to something else. Thumbnails are important. We're gonna hit that. We're gonna hit this up. You remind me in like 5 minutes. Talk about thumbnails.
Got it. 5-minute timer.
Got it. So we're not guaranteed any amount of time of watch time. So never think you have. This is like when people do intros, and it kind of started with some of like the top YouTubers. Jimmy never says what his name is. It's never like, hey, I'm Jimmy. You know what I mean? And most people, remember back in the day when it was like, what's up, guys? I'm Sean, and here's my channel, and subscribe and like and do this. And remember that winner from life? That's we don't do that anymore. Get right to the video. You didn't click to see what your name was. You didn't click to see who you are. Just get right to the video. Okay, here's some of the tools that we have. Maybe you guys don't know about some of these tools. Tools that we have to make our content better, stickier, and tell better stories that people are going to watch. One, voiceover. A pattern I noticed with Mark Rober. And if you watch one of his videos, it is non-stop talking. You might even be like, Sean, that's not possible. It is. Not like he'll script some stuff, he'll say some things to the camera, and then voiceover, a little pause. He'll say some things that he said in real life. It's non-stop him talking. And I kind of think it's like that uncle that that when he's talking to you, he grabs your arm. You know what I mean? But he just keeps on saying, and you're like, I want to get away, but there's no break.
Amazing.
He's never done it.
That is hilarious.
And so voiceover is an extremely valuable tool, and you guys know this, but it doesn't have to be super amazing quality. I use my lav mic that I use for my recording all my stuff, like when I'm out in the field. That's what I use for my voiceover. A lav mic, a Sony recorder, and I just sit inside the shop and I read off my phone or I improv it. 2, pattern interrupts. Shifting something, a different thing or a different scene or a different something. Pattern interrupts are very important. If the whole video is you just, it's not very exciting to watch. That's why podcasts, they'll have three cameras, or at least 2 cameras on you, because it kind of keeps it there. B-roll. B-roll is a very important tool. Music on and off. Music, it's got to connect, but also the fact that taking music away is just as powerful as putting music back on. So, keep that in mind. One that I learned a couple years ago, and I really started doing this. I've been doing this in this conversation. Probably not that well, but setting up anticipation. you guys know what's going to happen after. Set up anticipation. I've heard, this is what I do, and it was confirmed by this is what some other big creators do. They will write some idea of what they think is going to happen. They film it, and they go back, and they're like, what's the better story here? Like we did a video where $1,000 if you can start my Harley Davidson. We did it. We filmed it in Franklin. A lady came. There was this one lady who owned the store right in front of us. She's like, I know someone who can start this bike. I'm like, all right, bring her, have this person come. And then we find out it's a lady. I'm like, no, lady can start this bike. Then we find out it's an old lady, like 75 years old. And so we keep on hyping up in the video, like, this lady's supposed to be coming, who knows? Then this lady shows up, and she's got to be like 120 pounds, like 5'2". We find out that she has this crazy long history of riding motorcycles. She was in motorcycle magazines in the 80s, and all this stuff. And we didn't have a plan, but we were like, all right, give me that footage. Let's talk more. And then she was the one who got the bike started at the very end. Wow. So we had a plan of what we wanted, but then we're like, okay, that's the story. Let's weave that into it. And you really can't do that because you don't know without, voiceover and tools. Another thing that I didn't put on here, but what I call is like the red couch session, where I want to do voiceover, but I can't do voiceover because there's nothing to put on top of that. So I just bring it back to me. The difference between TV, and it took me a long time to figure this out, TV and YouTube is, you guys remember in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when Will Smith would look into the camera and be like, what's up with Uncle Phil? That's all of YouTube. TV's two people talking to each other. YouTube is you talking to, like what they say is the fourth wall's broken. That's what YouTube is. So any chance you can get to just, when you're not doing a bunch of that stuff, to have a couch moment where you're sitting on the spot that you're always at, and you'll be like, so the next guy that comes up, I didn't think he could do it. But sometimes you get surprised. Or something like, just something. Or setting up anticipation, or setting the stage, or that's all just storytelling. Like, I wish I would have said this. Well, you didn't say it. It's also a good pattern interrupt. Calling back to old videos is just a good thing to do with YouTube. One, it reminds people who maybe they haven't seen it, like, oh, cool, we did it. Oh, it's good. It's good practice. Visual aids or diagrams. I like this. You guys remember Mythbusters? They would like draw the concept out. Like, we're gonna put a ladder up here, and they would. It was fairly crude. I'll do stuff like this in my video. Actually, I'll show you. I just did it. Steps of the edit. So I can scroll down, press the record button, and now I'm recording, and I can just show me, like, I could be like, the voiceover is like, so it's a three-step process. Step one, do the thing, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch, and it's crude looking, and it's whatever, but bam, that shows up. I made it in 3 seconds. That shows up in my video. AI can do this stuff. You can make it infinitely better with AI, and I think you should. But so that's what I have down for visual aids and other types. And sometimes my other idea was like, all right, just get the camera. I'm gonna get a little bike in my hand, and just kind of like do the thing with my hand.
Did you start the recording?
I was gonna say, don't forget you're still screen recording.
Nice. So it can be crude, and it kind of makes it fun.
You did remind me to ask you about thumbnails.
Yeah, thumbnails, good idea. Okay. Thumbnails are super important.
We are gonna, spoiler alert, but we are going to talk a lot about thumbnails with someone tomorrow.
Good.
So we'll have a lot on that if you want to
Good.
focus on something else. But.
Yeah, thumbnails are super important. So here's one thing I want to say. I talk to creators who are like doing like up and coming, and I'm like, how much time you spend on your thumbnail? They're like, I don't know, like 20 minutes. And I'm like, I spend 8 hours. I personally still spend 8 hours on my thumbnail. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
And it's like, maybe that's why you're not doing as good as you think you should be doing. Like they're very valuable.
What does the 8 hour process look like?
It's a lot of research.
Okay.
So thumbnails need to come off of either what worked for you or what worked for someone else. And when you look, what worked for someone else, don't look at some guy that's got a 10 million subscriber channel and he's got a 2 million view thumbnail. Because then you look at that and you're like, oh, that thumbnail flopped. That video flopped for that guy. Try to find a video that has low subscriber count and a high view thumbnail. Because I mean, man, that thumbnail that really hit an audience. They really like that. So it's a lot of research. And ultimately, thumbnails are not pictures. Thumbnails are not good-looking pictures. They're not good-looking photographs. They're not good-looking graphically. It's got to tell. Oh, I should have brought it. I got a list I have on my wall of what makes a good thumbnail. Well, you got a thumbnail guy coming in. Any questions from what I just said?
So thumbnails are important, yeah.
Thumbnails are important, yeah. Put an exclamation point after that.
Is there a common mistake you see other people make at thumbnails that you just get like it grinds your gears?
No, I have not thought about it. That's a good question. Just people don't try very much, and then they just video sucks.
I did have a follow-up question on that. Is like, when do you, I don't want to say give up on a thumbnail in the sense of like, you're actively feel like you failed, but more of like, when do you feel like you've tested the thumbnail enough, you've ideated enough where you're just like, it is what it is?
You mean like before posting it?
Before and after, like, I don't know.
Yeah, so
that's something to deal with.
I'll change thumbnails all the time.
Okay.
Like all the time.
On
Do
old
you
videos
utilize
too?
the YouTube?
A/B testing is the greatest thing YouTube ever released. 100%. I do it. I'm A/B test. I probably A/B tested over 300 thumbnails. And you guys need to be A/B testing your thumbnails because you have to learn this stuff. You have to learn what's better. Or at the so there's some things, and I've done it in some ways where I'm like, man, it worked for this one, but this other one it didn't work. So I don't know what the conclusion is. The conclusion is just A/B test them. Because some might work differently. But there's some videos that I'm like, man, I know it's a good video. I still want this to work. I'll go back and do the thumbnail again. Now sometimes you run out of time, and sometimes you run out of energy. I gotta focus on the newest video. But does that answer your question?
Yeah, because that's a little bit of what I guess, sometimes I'm like, okay, this video got 15,000 views. I'm like, am I being ungrateful for the 15,000 views, which might be like an outlier in my amount of views?
What's normal? What's a normal amount of views?
It's about 10,000 right now.
Okay.
So, but then it's also like, I have an outlier video that's 155,000 views. And so in my head, sometimes I'm thinking like, should I be testing even the 155,000 to see if I can get it to 1 million with different, like, I don't know.
Yeah, for 100%.
Yeah.
Test it. Try to get it better. What's the retention?
I think I average by the end of it about 30-40%, 33.
That's pretty good for a video that outperformed your channel. Because anything that goes outperforming your channel or outperforms what you normally do, retention will drop because it got a new audience. The click-through rate will drop because YouTube sent it to a bajillion people. When you're comparing videos in analytics, and this is really important to do, so you can see like, man, is my video doing well? You have to compare apples to apples, and you need a baseline. You need a baseline. What I compare it at normally impressions. because impression you can't compare it with time, but you can impressions is apples to apples. So take like a baseline. All right, for me it's just a million impressions. Once it's at a million impressions, what's the click-through rate? Because you can't just look at click-through rate with time, because the impressions could be 20 million versus 500,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so the data's all skewed. So find that number for your channel, whether it's 50,000 or 100,000, and be like, okay. And then I created a document of top videos, middle videos, videos that sucked, and I compared it from the same baseline, and I saw patterns. Okay, this had all these top videos were 7.5% CTR, middle videos were 5.5%, poor videos were 3.5%, something like that. And then you can know, like, okay, this is not going to do well. I need to fix this. Or, once you see patterns, you can start changing them. Yes.
That's really helpful.
Yeah.
The first one is, what do you think makes a good thumbnail? Just as a general principle. 2, do you ever go back and change thumbnails from like 6 months ago, a year ago?
I've changed thumbnails of my greatest videos from 3 years ago. And I saw bumps with them. You had to do 3.
Yeah, and then so like the first one, what makes a good thumbnail?
Okay.
And then the third one is kind of off topic because I forgot to ask you when you were talking about storytelling. So
Yeah.
what's a good thumbnail?
Okay. What makes a good thumbnail? It has to catch your eye. I've got a list at home. It's on my wall. I'll forget something. It has to catch. Okay, there's a video by a guy named Veritasium, and he did a video about thumbnail. It had him standing next to a graph, and he had a really good list of what makes a good thumbnail. I added a few things to it, but he this was a couple years old, and he's wrong with a few things. He's wrong with the algorithm part, but it has to grab your eye. That's why a lot of thumbnails. You guys have used a color wheel. Use opposite colors. If everything's green, make your shirt orange or something like that. Look at the color wheel, and you can change your shirt on Photoshop. It's got to grab. It cannot answer all the questions. So when people are like, "I bought my dream truck," and then there's a picture of them with their dream truck, you're like, "All right, cool. That dude bought a Hellcat, or he bought a TRX." You know what I mean? I don't need to watch it anymore. I'm not. So it can't answer any questions. It has to be somewhat, and this is somewhat controversial, but it has to be somewhat clickbaity in the sense that it's not completely telling the whole story. Which is kind of like what I just said with the other thing, but it's gotta be somewhat clickbaity. Now you can look at clickbait as 2 different things. Clickbait is one. There's bad clickbait definition. There's good clickbait definition. Bad clickbait is like just lying. Good clickbait is I slightly tweaked what actually happened, but what is happening is true. You know what I mean? Exaggerating. So we recently did this where.
My favorite example of a kind of clickbaity title is one that he did, Brandon, where like the Judas character, he's like, Judas is leaving the Chosen, but like he was leaving, but not because he's like leaving. It's because his character's like going away somewhere.
Right.
Dying.
Well, dying.
Yeah, exactly. So, right. That's a really great example. It's got to pop. If you hit me up if you want to. Hit me up tomorrow. I'll take a picture of my list. It's a pretty good list. When people. Okay. Yeah. What's your storyteller question?
How did you become what did you do to become a good storyteller?
I started looking into reading books about storytelling, watching videos about storytelling, finding people who can mentor me about storytelling, and now I watch. You guys know this, but you don't watch YouTube the same way. You don't watch content the same way. Everything is now from the lens of like oh, that's what he's doing. You know what I mean? It's like a magician.
It's kind of like annoying sometimes because I can't just enjoy the video.
Right.
He's,
I'm like, all right,
he wants me to
where's
watch.
the
To watch that one. Yeah.
Right. It's like a magician going to a magic show. He's not enjoying it like we are. He's enjoying it as like, oh, I know what he's doing. Any other questions?
How do you know the difference between when a video popped because it was a great topic and when it's a great thumbnail? Like how do you, or failed for that reason?
Testing it out. You just gotta test it out because you don't really have that option of, CTR is gonna be thumbnail and topic. So do another one of the same topic with a different thumbnail, see how it works, and then switch the thumbnail. Or A/B test it. A/B. Who here is A/B testing right now? You gotta be A/B testing. It's the coolest thing. And now you can A/B. Can you guys all A/B test titles?
Not yet.
You'll have it soon. A/B testing titles. A/B testing is the coolest thing ever. It's crazy that we just got it.
With the A/B testing titles, is it like do you pick which thumbnail it goes to, or is it just
Yes.
randomized?
No, it picks it. So you can they can both have the same title, or you can flip them.
Okay.
Now I heard a phrase, and it just really hit me. Testing something and not knowing why it succeeded is worse than failing. So when you're testing stuff, you have to test it in a way where don't do a different title and a different thumbnail and a different title versus a different thumbnail. Because then one wins, be like, oh, shit, was it the title or the thumbnail? You have to, only change one thing. And then, okay, that one's better. Okay, how do we make this one even better? You know what I mean? And then that's the new baseline. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How do you? Because for me, and maybe it's because I post a lot, but I feel like I get lost in I'm doing the next thing. I don't have time to think about my last 5 videos and kind of reconsider all those. So how do you think about that, just logistically?
In the morning, I just kind of go to my desk and I want to check and see how everything's doing. And then I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Okay, so here's an example. I tested all my biggest videos with words and without words in the title. They all performed better without words. With a few exceptions, sometimes there's one word or one little thing that really helped make it, grabby. But everyone else just keep the words out. Why do you guys think that is?
I think oftentimes when we try to use words in a thumbnail, it's kind of like a self-nerf. Because if you can make the thumbnail without words visually, if someone can look at a thumbnail or image and know exactly what the video is about, you probably have a near perfect thumbnail. But sometimes, and I've seen creators do this, they feel obligated to throw text on the thumbnail, and the thumbnail actually makes the text makes the thumbnail worse because it didn't need the text.
And that's my pet peeve with people making thumbnails.
Yeah.
Too many words. The other thing about it, I agree with that. In addition to that, you actually so look at thumbnail and title as real estate. You have so much space to put out your information. They go together. They see the thumbnail first. They get curious. They go look at the title. If you have words in the thumbnail, they don't read the title. They already read the words. So you're actually losing real estate by putting words in the thumbnail, is what I think.
Can you talk about titles really quick?
Yes, titles need to be less than 53 characters. They need to be, again, this needs to be based off of what works for other people. Okay, packaging. Let's talk about just overall packaging. We did a thing one time. I did an exercise one time where
It's a straight line.
yeah, very straight. I'm that good. So this is middle. This is middle. No, that's not middle. This is broad. All right. Broad. This is niche. Probably not spelled it right. And this is in the middle. Does it? So I started looking at my thumbnails and my packaging as you want to make most of your videos for a broad audience. If you want to get broad audience views. And so this exercise helped me understand that better. So what I took a topic and I started taking random topics and I'm like, how do I make it broad? How do I make it niche? Someone give me a title idea. And we're going to do this exercise real quick.
The Man Who Solved the Bible.
The Man Who Solved the Bible?
Actually, no, can you give a real example?
Yes.
Nero, the most evil man in history. Nero, the most evil man in history.
Alright, where do you guys think this falls under broad versus niche?
Feels like middle niche, like a little bit to the center, but more niche for sure.
How do we make it? Take that.
Good morning. It's day 3, or is it technically second full day? Whatever. It's the morning. This is my last full day here. Game plan, multiple different sessions. Apparently there's going to be some special guests this morning. Hopefully I can get some time and just journal a little bit. Oh, and today everyone's roasting my channel, so you're definitely going to want to stick around for that. So I'm really hoping to, so I'm really looking forward to that because I really need to get some advice on some retention hacks, maybe some storytelling elements, and definitely thumbnails. So okay, let's get after it. Yeah, Dino, like dinosaur, D-I-N-O.
Okay.
And then Favara.
Wait, hold on. Who did Joe just have on? Hold on.
John
Cena! Let's go!
I don't see anybody in that frame.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's
Sorry.
Dino.
Favara. Yeah, that
Dude,
first one there.
Rogan is like, he gets the best guests.
The best.
It's like every week you're like, who's he gonna have on this
Right.
week? He had the Nvidia guy on yesterday.
That's wild.
It's nuts. I think God's working on his heart too.
Yeah. Yeah, so pretty much my most recent ones, I guess, like the main.
Do you live in Orlando?
Yeah, I do.
You look like Curtis in that image. That's funny.
Oh. But yeah, I think it might be the mullet.
Yeah, I love it. And the mustache.
But so I had this pool video do really well, which was a lot of what you were doing. Like I'd actually watched your interview on, I think it was 1 of 10 or something. And so that original image was like I was way smaller.
Yeah.
The castle definitely isn't in the background there. Tons of people, so I definitely played around. So it worked really well. Actually, I didn't have the castle originally, but someone in my comments was like, "You should put the castle in the background."
Nice.
And so then I did it,
That's
and
a
then
good idea.
it popped.
You should give him
I
like
know.
$100.
I literally. Do you want to be my designer?
Yeah.
But ever since then, I've been trying to kind of obviously replicate this success, and I guess I'm balancing back and forth between like, where am I just being like kind of maybe a little ungrateful maybe for the views. Like I'm obviously developing and growing an audience.
Honestly, I would get rid of the word Disney and just do this everywhere. You
Yeah.
can do it at the best hotels in the world.
Right.
You can do it at Universal Studios. You can do it at Dollywood.
Yeah. I have thought of that as like, is it the pools or is it the Disney? And I've wrestled
I think
that
it's
a little
the
bit.
pools, yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely think that
It's an idea that I haven't seen before, and it's like Disney. Like out of all the theme parks and all the things, that is the top. So, like, congratulations. That's the most ideal place to go for that.
Right.
But I don't think this is because of Disney. I think it's because it's a good idea.
Okay.
And it is a good idea.
I have thought of like just.
I visited every pool in Vegas. I mean, you
Right.
have the
Wow.
you
Yeah.
have the Paris hotel.
The
and then
Sphere.
You have the sphere over here.
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
And then
good.
you challenge.
Yeah. Right.
And you can be.
Yeah.
You can also be like. You could anything that would subvert somebody's expectation. Like if there's a pool somewhere that people just would never expect. That's another good one. It's like
Super 8. Yeah.
I visited every pool inside of restaurants, or something.
Yeah. I like that.
Every one-star pool in Orlando.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good.
Film a piece of poop in the corner.
Oh, that's good. Did you hear that?
What's at every YMCA pool in America?
Oh, that's amazing.
But I mean,
Oh my gosh.
obviously, we went from him just driving down to Disney World,
Right. Now I gotta go
filming
around
this
the world.
video,
Yeah.
to
But I mean, like,
traveling
there's a lot of opportunity I've thought of like for next year is doing
Are
every
you
pool.
married?
Yeah,
You have
I have
kids?
2 kids.
Okay,
So
yeah, so it's hard
both
for you
2
to
under
just go to
2.
Japan and go do
Right.
something.
So it's. I mean, I can do every pool at Universal, and because they have a lot. They have probably arguably better pools than Disney World.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other hotels around Disney. There's a lot of other really interesting
Are you
places
making
in
money with
Orlando.
this? Are you full time?
Oh no, definitely not full time yet. I am monetized though, so
Yeah. But what do you do for work?
I'm a producer for a podcast production company.
Oh,
so
sweet.
I help generate.
Rob is a
podcasts.
podcaster
Okay.
himself. That's why he came.
Let's go.
You guys
Okay,
need to
cool.
meet
Yeah,
and connect
totally.
for sure.
Okay.
He's looking for work and he's a master.
Oh.
Yeah. He has a
Sick.
great podcast called God. What's it called? God Out Loud.
Stories of people who claim their
But it's like a journalistic, like serial or like This American Lifestyle.
Yeah.
He's really good at this narrative editing style. So,
Cool. Yeah, we
there's
can
a
definitely
ton
talk
of
more,
work.
Rob, for sure.
So much work to do that. But anyways,
Yeah, and so
my question with this is why? Why are you doing this?
so big fan of Disney. Obviously, it's like an easy win.
You live there.
I live there. I'm a big fan of. I talked a lot about it yesterday, but I really love creating joy for families, and a lot of families go to Disney, and a lot of that stems from them not knowing.
Okay, and you're a Christian.
Yeah.
Do you make it obvious?
I don't like blatantly share the gospel, but like in multiple
so
videos, I'm at
Christian
church.
Parents that aren't going to Disneyland right now because it's wokey
Right.
hellscape.
Yeah.
At least that's what they think.
Right. Totally.
So I think there's actually a market where you're the, you don't have to call yourself conservative,
Sure.
but you're the Christian parent teaching Christian parents how to navigate Disney World. Because like as a parent myself, I got 3 kids. We're literally not going to Disney World because of what I've seen, and like I don't want a man in a mustache wearing a dress to ask my sons to come into the princess room.
Yeah.
But if that's not the case,
Yeah.
what?
But yeah.
So,
It's just wild.
if you're able to navigate that as a Christian and
Yeah.
you've learned the hacks, but then also taking an evangelistic viewpoint too of like those people are made in the image of God, so they're image bearers.
Yep.
And like having that perspective of like, if you're taking your children to Disney World, here's the things to look out for. Here's the places to avoid. But then also here's the opportunities for the gospel. There's a lot about it. That's like, I think every creator here needs to have a why, like a biblical kingdom why. That's what we spent all day yesterday. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So, because then once you have that, like let's say that's hypothetically yours, then all of these ideas get filtered through that. And like Yes Theory says, they hide the vegetables because they found when they would title their thumbnails, most life-changing moment in Dubai, like nobody would click on it, but it's like I survived a shark attack in the middle of Dubai, like people click on that.
Yeah.
But like underlying with Yes Theory, they have so many great, deep, like really good emotional moments, but they're missing the core most important thing, which is the gospel.
Totally.
They're just like this empty, like just seeking happiness or whatever. So we all have the keys to the actual answer. And I think Trahan is a great one to look at because he doesn't shy away from his faith, but like all of his videos, you can almost tell that there is like a kingdom focus on the storytelling because there's always a redemption arc of some sort in all of his videos, which is a complete reflection of Christ. So that being said, like from a business standpoint, my entrepreneur brain's kicking in. Like you could sell products, you could sell full guides that include either videos or even just a PDF that you provide to.
That's my confirmation.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of what they were mentioning yesterday.
Or you could be the pool guy and sell chlorine.
Yeah, that's right. 100%. But I don't think that these people are parents looking for Christian guidance at Disney World.
Right.
That was just a good viral idea. So that's kind of why I think the why behind your channel is so crucial. If you just want to make entertaining content, that's great. But I believe the Great Commission for us needs to be applied to everything. So how if you want to do entertaining content like Trahan, that's great. But Trahan doesn't have kids. And he has a wife that's a YouTuber, so she understands it.
Lots of freedom and flexibility there.
His partner, God put him and his wife together for a purpose, and they're making a difference. And he's that Gen Z, person that a lot of younger people are looking to. Yeah. But he's in a different state than you're at.
Totally.
So, what's your unique advantage? He doesn't have kids, and you do. He doesn't live in Orlando. You do. Right. So, you have so much wisdom and knowledge in this area, and you can speak to parents really directly and make a difference in their lives.
Yeah. That's really good.
Maybe going off you, maybe you become the Orlando expert because people are going to visit Disney. And I know whenever people I know visit Disney, they're always looking for pools other than Disney, hotels other than Disney, food. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So you make the whole experience enjoyable, and you could work on what days.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Because that is kind of the goal. I kind of started with Disney as sort of to kind of zero in on an audience, but I even see myself doing Florida focused stuff too, because there's a lot in there.
Yeah, so many people are moving there.
Yeah.
You could be the Florida man.
The Florida man. Listen, guys, we've been talking about it.
Florida man.
I've already got the mullet.
Here's the thing, bro. I'm going to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
All these videos that look like Ryan Trahan have 1,000 views on them.
Yeah.
This one did really good because nobody's seen that before.
Yeah.
Those performed really well. I like that AB though. But that one there is just, that one's not.
Yeah, that was definitely before I decided on.
This is a year ago. So you're crushing it on these. That one's even good. 3 weeks ago, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
I'll tell Ant that you're thankful for his work there.
Yes.
No, that's a good, honestly, that's a good version of being inspired by something and making it your own. I really like that with the Donkey Kong. But I think the main thing, it sounds like you guys talked about this with him, is purpose. What is your purpose?
Yeah.
Is it just to get a bunch of views? Well, why?
Right.
And I think if you have a real defined why, then it'll inform all that. It's okay to want views.
No, it's helpful.
But we should not be wanting views for our own ego, of course. I'm not saying you are.
Of course.
But I struggled with that.
Totally.
Because that's what the world around us tells us. You go to Vid Summit and it's just all about more views, more subscribers, more.
Yeah.
And it's never enough. And all for what, you know? I did want to share some verses that I feel like the Lord put on my heart for this discussion. So I bookmarked them and let's see if I can remember. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's not the one. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. This is Galatians 5, verse 9, or verse 7. You were running well, who prevented you from being persuaded regarding the truth. This persuasion does not come from the one who calls you. A little leaven leavens the whole batch of dough. And so I think that stood out to me, and I wanted to share that because, if we, Ruslan KD, for example, I know some of you guys might even know him. He's talking about Candace Owens right now, and it's, becoming very divisive, and, he's getting clicks. But, where's that line that we are just going into gossip and anger and trying to fuel that? I know Mike, you know him, right? So, I know he probably
is prayerfully thinking through these things, I would assume. But like, we just need to be very prayerful about these topics and the things that we're talking about, I think. Because just a little leavens the whole, it says like, it just really can ruin the whole batch,
Yeah.
you know? So that even applies to our own ego and pride, you know? Are we making these decisions based on our own pride of like, I'm not that guy, or I don't want to do that, you know what I mean? But that's what God has called us to do. And I speak that over, you know, myself. Like, I don't want to work for Black Rifle. They're a pretty boring client, to be honest, but they're paying me a lot of money, and it's providing for my family. They're paying. Yeah. And like as an artist, I've always like, I don't care about money, so I just do what I want to do, and that's a selfish motive, to be honest. Like my call is to provide for my family and be Christ to my family, to my wife. And so God has given me this opportunity to provide through them. And even though I like begrudgingly kind of don't like it creatively, like, do you think the disciples creatively enjoyed fishing? Like, probably not. There were probably parts that sucked. And then this is my favorite one, and I want to like leave on this one. It's 1 Thessalonians 4:11. So we encourage you, brothers and sisters, to do this even more, to seek to lead a quiet life, to mind your own business, and to work with your own hands, as we commanded you. You know, we shouldn't be like trying to reach some sort of vanity metric, you know. And like at the end of the day, like all this stuff is a tool, and I believe God owns the internet. Like, the enemy doesn't own it. God owns it. He's allowing him to have some dominion over it. But God owns the internet. So, and like, we're called to go out and to actually have these types of moments where we're sitting with people, discipling people that you can touch, not just virtually. But if every single person that you touch virtually, or touch physically, is in their head virtually, which most people are, because they're just on their phones all the time, like this, God has allowed us to have this tool to reach people. But we got to be reminded that like, we can't just like have our brains obsessed with all these numbers and just being obsessed with these things. You've got to turn it off. If you have, especially if you have a family, like turn the stupid thing off. Stop thinking about it. It doesn't matter. It's all God's. He's got it. Be present with your spouse. Be present with your kids. Be present with men and women in your life that are normal people. People who are muggles of YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
The men's group that I'm in are like construction workers and a guy that works at a factory and, you know, a musician, and like, it's just a great variety of people. And in the past, when I would say like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, it's like, everybody thinks that's cool. And like, that would fill my own ego and stuff. And so I even sometimes am intentionally like, yeah, I just make I make videos, or I'm a creative professional or whatever. Because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole all the time, and just like, I just want to be really ultimately the adopted son of God, and I'm currently doing this as a job, but this doesn't define me. And so I think it's important for us to have that balance, to touch grass. You know, I switched to a dumb phone, if you didn't see, so I have this.
I did see.
I have this thing, it's called a Modita
I was gonna ask you
Compact.
about it.
It's it just does texting and calling, and you know, I'm able to sideload like Waze on it. I've got the Bible app. It's like a Kindle. I have an app called Open Bubbles, so I'm able to still iMessage people. So, you know, so it didn't like mess up my Apple ecosystem. But it's so great because there's a switch on the side right here, and when I flip it, I go into offline mode, and it disconnects me completely.
Wow.
So when it's 5 o'clock and I walk home, like I go like this, and I just set it down, or I just keep it in my pocket if I need it, and I can actually like, because it's off, I know that like I can be more present.
Yeah.
And if you look at Jesus, like he didn't have the internet, but he was still distracted with the quarrels of the disciples, all of the people that wanted healing, and he modeled for us what to do. He went into the wilderness to pray. And so our version of that, I think, is turning this off, or just leaving it at home and going for a walk. And like, you know, I've got like a little G-Shock instead of an Apple Watch, and so I can still keep time, and like, but this isn't connected to anything. It's just a watch. And so I'll just go out for a walk for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and pray with no phone. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like, it's your neighborhood, you're safe, you know.
That's good.
You go somewhere safe, a park or whatever. And it's surprising how much I hear from God when I'm intentional like that. It's like, God, reveal yourself to me. I love you. I worship you, whatever. And you know, in those moments, that's where I really get the identity thing. It's like, I've heard God say, you're my son, you know, I've made you to be this, you know, like, you're called for this, and, you know, so it's so important, and Jesus is the model. He didn't need to get baptized. He's the God of the universe, but he said that I'm doing this to show you what to do, you know, and he was God's beloved son, who's well pleased, and that's what we are, sons and daughters of Christ. Yeah. Because of the blood, he sees us as sinless beings, which is weird. Like, we are forgiven. Everything was done on the cross. So when he looks at you, he sees a forgiven son or daughter, which is amazing. That's insane. But it's the daily sanctification, obviously, for us to, like, we're still living in a fallen world, so obviously we're not perfect. But, yeah, I just wanted to end on that, because really I think it's important. This virtual stuff, we get like obsessed with the AI and all this stuff, but like you gotta turn the crap off and go outside, you know. That's God's creation, and this stuff is man's creation. So you can't live in man's creation all the time. It'll make you go crazy. So
awesome. Thank you so much, David. Purpose. Why do you do what you do? Why is it that we are creating in the first place? Should you be creating in the first place? Is this really your calling? And so we talked about all of that yesterday, kind of deep dive into that. And if you notice, like, I haven't really prepared any of this ahead of time, like for the speakers to be at certain points, but God has just weaved like this message all the way through so far, and I believe that he's going to continue to do that throughout the rest of the day and a half that we have left. And so today, we're talking about the who. The who of who you serve is really the question here. The Lord, true. You serve the Lord, but in terms of humanity, who are the people that we serve? Because we can't serve everybody, right? Even someone like a Donald Trump or whatever else, like he's not serving everybody, right? He is serving a particular group of people, the American people, hopefully. This is the goal anyway. And he can't, you know, nobody can serve everybody. And that's the problem that I think we run into as creators, is like, I want to be the Disney guy who reaches everybody that ever has heard about Disney. And it's like, you're never, ever, ever going to reach that massive group. Even Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber, is not going to reach everybody in the world. He's going to reach a large portion. The broader that he gets, the more that he can do. But especially if you're at the beginning of your journey, the best way to start is to figure out exactly who you're talking to, talk to that specific person, and then grow from there. Isabella's seen this very recently. You know, Mike, same thing. We're kind of figuring out who these audiences are. And for me and Vanessa, we got lucky in the beginning. We didn't really know who our audience was going to be. We thought it would be 20s, 30s, like, you know, maybe early 40s, millennial, sort of like age, someone like us, right? Like in our age group, our age range, that was kind of like interested in what we're interested in. Turns out that's not the case, right? But because we saw the audience and who they actually were, then we were able to adjust and go from there, okay? So I'm going to kind of go through some different things that will help you to see. Let me actually put this on. Sorry, that's okay. Go through some things to just help you think about this, okay? Because it's going to hopefully enlighten you. So, who determines what topics to cover, what stories to tell, what thumbnails look like, what emotional tone to use, what problems to solve, and what references to mention. And so, think about this in a very holistic way, right? Promise Land guys. What is some of the language that you guys use for Promise Land? Riz, okay. Anything else?
Cooked, chopped.
Diabolical. 6-7.
Yeah.
Diabolical, no 6-7. We're not that crazy.
Anything specific to the show that's language that's emerged that you weren't expecting?
Yeah. We address our audience as tribes. We call them, instead of like y'all or you people, you know, we call them our tribe members. And so we intentionally focus them to be a part of our tribe itself and like have identity within the Promised Land series, for example.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. For me, my whole entire channel is based around my avatar that emerged from my original channel. So the Snipe Life emerged this audience that's an older female audience. And how did I get the name The Chosen Sleuth? They gave it to me, Okay? So for me, when I was on the Snipe Life, there are certain videos that I would do that they'd be like, man, you're like a detective, you're like a sleuth. And that name started to emerge over and over again. Brandon sleuthing again, he's doing that thing, right? So when I started this new channel, it just emerged as language that already existed for my audience that was my target, right? And so I'm using this specific language, I'm using these specific stories. My age range, like I said before, is 65 plus female. So I'm not going to be talking about Dora the Explorer. I'm not going to be talking about things from my childhood like Cartoon Network. I'm going to be talking about like the Andy Griffith Show, right? Or like things that reference what they know and what they have gone through, right? Golden Girls, maybe, yeah. And so all of this plays into it. The emotional tone that I use in videos. The problems that I'm solving for them are not like how to get married, for example, right? They're all well past that. Most likely their husbands are either gone or they're kind of just like in their later years just kind of chilling, you know, and things like that. So I think about all of this whenever I'm creating anything. So when I'm from you know, snout to tail, you know, so to speak, of a video, right? To give it like barbecue language, I don't know. Wow.
I loved it. Hey, I got it.
Appreciate it. Anyway, from beginning to end, I think about all of this. So from my ideation and topic, I think about, is this even a topic that my audience would care about, right? So when you're wrestling with a video and you're fighting with it, and you're like, man, I just can't get this to work, it's probably because it was never right for your audience to begin with, right? And so you have to think about the who, but first you think about your purpose, which is why we went over that first, then your who, right? This is step 2. And so all these things can be thought about as you're going through. So define your core audience. I want you to write these down, and then we can work on them today. Maybe we can run through some of them with you guys. But define your core audience, and we're going to do this in 2 ways, okay? The first way is demographics, and we're going to get to the second way in a moment. So the first one is demographics, which is their age range, their gender, their location. Because if you imagine, you're going to be talking very differently to an Indian audience than you will be in an American audience, right? You're going to be talking generally very differently to a Chinese audience than you would be a Japanese audience. Even though they're both Asian, it's going to be completely different cultures and experiences and different things that are coming up, right? Stage of life is huge. This is incredibly important. For Isabella, it's going to be the young, probably single, maybe married, kind of, you know, Gen Z girly pop, right? For JC, it's going to be the very young, probably 16 to 25, like, I'm about to get married, or I'm looking forward to getting married. That's the kind of person that you're going to go towards, right? And so, just like the Promised Land, it's going to be more Gen Z coded than something I'm going to do, right? You got to think about that. Also, their stage of life in terms of like what they do. Are they students? Are they professionals? Do they have their own business? You know, all that stuff plays into it. And so it's a part. And then as Christians, we've got to think of their faith maturity if you're making Christian content as well. So like for the Promised Land, where do you think your faith maturity is for most of your people?
Split, honestly. Yeah, I would say like that's a tough one.
Yeah.
We found both. In that like a lot of like people who grew up Christian, especially bless you, Christian households and understand the Bible, and then the people that just love comedy.
Yeah.
And it's such an easy barrier of entry. So.
And I think some content is going to be like that.
Yeah.
But like a Brandon Robbins, for example, like most of his content is not going to be brand new Christians that have never heard anything before. It's going to be Christians that know something and they want to know more, right? Yeah. And so that's Brandon Robbins content for sure. And so you got to think about that. So this informs your pacing. It informs your content style, and then surface level relevancy. So pacing, Dino's pacing. You guys are going to watch my video later today, and you guys are going to be like, like, Brendan said 15 times, and I'm like, I left those in there intentionally in order to leave space for me to hang out with these people, and it's just like I've invited them into my home, right? So I think about content differently than Dino does, where Dino is going to look at my video and he's going to be like, okay, I could have cut out probably 15 minutes of this 26-minute video, and it would have been way better, right, for your audience. Right. But maybe for my audience, and I'm not saying this is correct all the time, I think I'm wrong about a lot of things, but maybe for my audience at times, this is why I do live streams, it's better for me to just sit with them, spend time with them, and even if I make a mistake, I'll leave it in because they see the real humanity, the authenticity that it is, right? So that's my pacing, that's my content style. It all is informed by that demographic. Now, the second piece to this is psychographics, okay? So psychographics are the things that are internalized, right? So what's their internal world? What are their fears? What are their frustrations? What do they value most? What are their needs? What keeps them up at night? What do they hope God will do in their life right now, right? This helps to build emotional tone and messaging. And specifically, this gives you a lot of ideas for videos. So there's psychographics in particular. Like, for example, my audience is this sort of like fearful, again, that play on like there's a fear of missing out, but there's a fear of loneliness. There's a lot of fears in their life of like, have I done enough? Have I been good? Have I done the thing? You know, like all of these things play into how I think about it. What they value most is seeing things that, like, they've already watched the shows that I talk about, right? They're not like watching the show through my channel. It's not like a reaction, really. It is I'm pointing out things that you missed the first time because you just didn't have the knowledge to unlock it, right? So I'm giving them the magnifying glass and showing them, hey, I see this, do you see it? You know? And that's my content. They're afraid of missing that, basically. And so that's what's there. But I would go beyond this, beyond your videos, and talk about this from the standpoint of their lives, okay? And we're about to get into creating an avatar, but think about their life. Like, who is this person? Why are they afraid of this thing? And then go deeper with that, as deep as you possibly can. So, for example, we'll go to the next slide here, which is to create an avatar. So, what is an avatar? An avatar is a proxy of one of your audience members, right? So, my audience member, generally I think of her as Karen. And I'm thinking of very specific people when I say that, right? It's not just a random word. Karen is a name that fits within my age demographic. It's a name that fits within my gender demographic, right? And so Karen is either single because she's widowed, or her husband doesn't really care about anything on my channel. Okay, so I'm not really interacting with couples very often. I do sometimes, but not super, super often. It's almost always like the wife will come up to me and she's like, oh my gosh, I love your videos. And the husband's like, yeah, she's watching those things all the time, right? Because he's not really into it, right? He's not really super into biblical media. She probably serves at her church in some capacity. Her kids are grown and they're in her life, but probably not a ton. Like, she has a lot of free time. She's not working a full-time job, generally. Most of my audience, I would say, does not have a ton of disposable income, but there are some, and we're going to talk about micro audiences in a moment, but there are some people who do have extreme amounts of money that are willing to do certain things, so I have to keep that in mind. Like, the general stuff on my channel needs to be free, but I can offer big ticket items when it applies, right? I think of her as someone who is like excited about community and very lonely. And so my live streams become a very big place for them to congregate, right? All these people come together, and I could probably name you, close to 50 of the people that are always in my chat, right? I have moderators from almost 5 years ago now that have been part of my channel that are there almost every single week moderating my chat, right? Because they really care about the community and they have ownership over it, right? So Karen, I'm thinking about a specific Karen Peckin, I think her name is. She's on my Patreon. She's on both my Patreons now because we just launched the second one. She's on my main channel. She's on our secondary channel. Anytime we talk about anything else that we're interested in, she's going to check it out. She messages me on Patreon probably 4 or 5 times a week to say, hey, I'm doing this, I'm thinking about this. What do you think about this for the channel? And giving me ideas and thinking about things, right? Because she feels ownership in what I'm doing, right? Because she's a piece of it. That is that part of community that I think is really important for my avatar, right? What are some examples of an avatar that you guys would have if you thought about this? And what are your thoughts? You guys okay?
Yeah, so I'll use the promised land as an example just because this is the one we've done the most work on. So our avatar is the 18 to 35, granted, there's a lot of sub-18 in our audience too, however, they can't legally report that, but it's an assumption. But 18 to 35, student or fresh in like an entry-level corporate style job, chronic doom And they are pretty much a dead even split of either watching the show to learn more about the Bible and get more context of it in an entertaining way, or watching it because it's entertaining and out of that wanting to get more context eventually. And so it's both seekers and kind of disciples, as we call them.
I was just having some thoughts as this conversation was going based off of what the conversation yesterday. I was writing down, like, I'm thinking about who it is, and I have actually a real life friend who I'm kind of like basing this off of because.
I think that's a great way to do it. Yeah.
And so like his name is like Isaac. He's 22. At the age range I think I could go for is like 16 to 30, male, like young men. They're either single, they're students, or they're young adults. Like raised Christian, but not really like maybe committing as hard, or they're just fine. Like some of the fears would be like feeling like they're falling behind, or they're not feeling like they're enough. And some of the frustrations would be like the self-help or what they've been promised by these other men is like not working, and that they value most so they feel purpose in their life, or they feel like they have a direction or are moving towards somewhere, like not running around aimlessly, just like you said, just sitting around doom scrolling, and but they feel like they're working towards something, and that they need a direction or a sense of control or dominion over their lives. Not to say that God isn't, the somewhat of an arbiter of that, but the fact that God has given us a brain and we're called to use wisdom and, be good stewards of our time, talent, treasures, and our resources. And what keeps them up at night is just that sense of like, what am I doing? Like I feel like God made me for so much more, and I'm just kind of like wasting my time, and I'm just kind of not sort of getting it. So I think that ties in a lot with what we talked about yesterday about like who are the people that I'm kind of helping. Because what happens, funnily enough, is, and I experienced this myself, when you feel directionless and you don't know what to do, you turn to pornography, you turn to all these different types of things, you turn to lust, you turn to whatever, which I think fits perfectly with why that video did so well. And I honestly think that in some ironic way about me making that video is like, I think that that's a symptom of the problem.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
So.
100%. So let's talk about micro audiences as well. So I want you to create an avatar, name them, tell me what their life is like. I'll tell you the Chosen. So the Chosen, and they don't really like this name getting around because it feels offensive to some people, but they call their fans the Betties. So the Betties are who me and Brandon Robbins basically target. So it's the same avatar of that 65-plus-year-old woman, maybe mid-50s, whatever it is, and she is super interested in the Chosen type content, biblical media, right? That's their like pure core avatar, but they also have other avatars that they're trying to go for. In 2022, 2021, there was a really big push for them to go and try to hit Gen Z. Did they succeed? I don't think so. I don't think they did very well at that. It pretty much failed. I haven't really seen any interaction with Chosen from Gen Z people. Every Gen Z that I talk to is like, nah, I haven't really watched this. I watched some of it. I'm not really like a big fan, right? It's okay. But all the older people that I talk to are like, oh, I will give my life for the Chosen. Like I will literally die on the field of the Chosen. And so they have different audiences that are kind of micro audiences from their core, right? So if my core is Karen, like she's a Chosen diehard who wants deeper understanding, right? Then I also might have Bible students who want more context about certain things, and they're seeing that I'm talking about that through the Chosen, right? I also might have Christian curious, like Christian people that are curious about archaeology and history, because I'm talking about those type of things as well, right? So I think there are times where you can pinpoint your videos towards one of these micro audiences. So I do this a lot through my videos, and maybe I can show you later, but I do this a lot through my videos by having my hero content, which is my deep dives of biblical media, right? So Promised Land episode 1 deep dive, right? That is my hero content that kind of works really well normally, right? Then I'll have other content that maybe just for my core audience that has then fallen in love with me over the last 4 years. I'll do like either a Q&A video that has them in it, right? They get to participate. Or I get to do a video that's specifically like, we really need to talk about this and it's extremely serious, and I'll just have my face in the thumbnail, which is really rare, right? That's basically telling telling them, it's like it's signaling to them, this is a very serious video, we're going to talk about something that's important, right? And so my core audience will watch that, and normally those videos will do better because my core audience rushes in so fast that it brings in other people as well to see me for the first time. And so think about those micro audiences that you have as well. So for Dino, your hero core audience might be that mom with a family and stuff like that, but it might also then be the kid who's obsessed with Disney and just wants to go all the time, right? Then you might also have someone else in there. So you got to think about those different areas where it could be. Okay. Moving on. Clarify the transformation you offer. So Brandon talked about his goal being transformation, right? At the end of his videos, he wants transformation. What kind of transformation are your videos offering? Are you taking someone that's broke and making them rich? Are you taking someone that's confused and making them knowledgeable? Are you taking someone alone and giving them community? Are you taking someone that's fearful and giving them hope? Are you taking someone that's anxious and giving them confidence, right? Think about that transformation. And it could be different from video to video, but I also think that your audience and your audience member will have a specific thing that you are curing for them, right? I don't know if you guys, if you thought about something like this, like your transformation that you want for your audience, or not.
It's connection transformation.
Okay.
It's an invitation. I think the invitation is the back half of the transformation.
Yeah.
And so the front half is the transformation is weird for us because like we're not giving a value proposition that calls for transformation.
Yeah.
What the invitation is, however, is the transformation of how you think about biblical storytelling.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of, that's more so the transformation. It's an awareness.
Yeah.
It's shifting the awareness.
Yep. Yeah, for God Made, the podcast that me, Eric, and Matt do, the idea of that is to transform people like you that are Christian creatives from confusion to knowledgeable, right? That's the idea. Is making people see, like, oh, here's how I get from point A to point B, and here's how I can connect those things, right? That's the goal of what we're doing. And so I would just think about that as you go through. All right.
Is there like, can there be more than one?
Of course, yeah. And each video might have one that is higher than the other, but I think your audience at its core will probably lean into one of these things. Like my community, I think definitely leans into that like alone and community feel, where like they don't really care as much if I'm like a professor, right? Because I'm not. I don't like me and Brandon Robbins. That's where we differ. He's the professor, I'm the sleuth, right? So I come in, I'm finding these things that are hidden, and he's like teaching, Yeah.
I feel like I'm in class. I think like most of these entertainment things that you guys deal with, I can see my brain naturally goes to the alone to community for a lot of these things, because a lot of these fans and these people that watch these shows that you guys do, I can't look back, but like it just seems like they just want like connection, not just with other fans, but even more so like with the makers of the film, the stars, the actors, and all that stuff. Like they really get into all that stuff. So to me, it just seems like, and honestly, if Chosen Con would be smart, they would open it up and make it like more for. I know it's political, but it would be pretty amazing if they did like tons of biblical media, or if Collide had like a
NRD
convention. Yeah,
but it's all old white people.
Yeah, that's all old white people.
Old white people who are already established in the industry and have the money to go.
Yeah.
I mean, just wait until we drop Moses Con.
Oh, Moses Con, that's gonna be epic. 10 Commandments, MoCon.
MoCon.
ADBCMC.
So, with a new channel, is there, how do I word this? Is there a way to create your content and your brand to get a certain kind of avatar, or do you do what you feel called to, and then you figure out what the avatar is?
I think if you are already knowledgeable about the audience, then you can target it, right? That's what I do with the Chosen Sleuth. I never like pushed on the Snipe Life to be like, hey, I'm starting this new channel, go over here, everybody go. And I did that like for 6 videos. No, I mentioned it one time that I was starting a new channel, and then some people moved over. But I would say probably 50,000 or more of the Snipe Life, or the Chosen Sleuth rather, had never even heard of the Snipe Life before. To the point where like now I'm restarting the Snipe Life, and they're like, you had a different channel? Like, I'm so confused.
What this makes me think of is because I'm the guy who has 15 followers about 15 subscribers, and I'm just getting my channel started, and I feel like I've hit a rhythm with what I'm doing. And basically, like, I'm talking to, so with our writing worship community, we have a lot of artists inside of the community that are also writers. But they are always asking questions about, like, getting artist knowledge, and that's probably the thing I could talk to them about the most.
Yeah.
And I do feel passionate. It's not like what I want to do long term. Like, I love talking to all kinds of creators. I want to talk to podcasters and people like that, people who want to build communities. But for now, I feel like I could speak to those. Like, do you think it's fine for me to start with an ultra niche and go after that?
I mean, that's what I did. I don't think it always works all the time, but for me, like, calling my channel The Chosen Sleuth is a calculated risk, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to Ben last night, I was like, do you think this is a problem, you know? Like, is it going to become a problem in the future? I don't think it is, because I think it's vague enough to where, like, I can be the chosen sleuth, right? But it also connects to the chosen so people know what I'm talking about instantly.
Right.
So it was a calculated risk for me, because I thought about doing, like, the Bible sleuth, or the Bible detective, and when I was thinking about these different names.
It's too watered down.
And it just felt like, it wouldn't have been as grabby in the beginning. It would have taken longer, it would have done, maybe it would have failed.
Yeah,
right?
like we would have, like, if we kept going with Walker Stalkers, we would have been putting ourselves into a hole because it would have ended.
Right.
And we would have been like, well, now what do we do?
Right.
I would encourage you as soon as possible to just make the shift to sleuth.
Sleuth. The
It's
sleuth.
just one word.
Single word.
The
channel.
sleuth. The sloth? Or the sleuth?
Definitely not sloth.
The chosen sloth. The
sloth is sleuth. Don't listen.
He gives bad advice on
That'd be good right after season 2 came out too.
No.
My logo's
serious?
so
Right.
good.
I'm serious. I'm serious. I think you should say
The sleuth.
But my logo's really good though.
It does look
You
good.
wouldn't have to be chosen.
Just take the
Why?
You're too in it.
Logos.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll think
Or
about
you
it.
could be the chosen House of David,
Yes.
Promised Land sleuth.
Yes. Yeah.
One word though,
Yeah.
all pushed
If
together.
you put the promised land in your name, we will send you a cease and desist.
We actually copyrighted the Promised Land.
As long as it's in your book,
Just have to change one letter.
That name's already.
the Promised Land.
To answer your question more, Matt, like, I don't.
Because I don't want to, you don't want to create content trying to go for a certain audience. You want to do.
It depends.
I don't know.
It depends on how confident you are.
Yeah.
So, like, for the
Yeah.
chosen sleuth, I was hyper confident. I knew exactly who the audience.
But you also kind of had data for,
Exactly.
and you knew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the snipe life, I didn't. We were throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And then we hit it, and then we adjusted to that. So Daryl Eves, a lot of this that I'm pulling from, by the way, is from Channel Jumpstart. So
Let's go!
I paid for the course, so you don't have to. I didn't actually pay for it. I got it for free. But a lot of this is from his ideas of demographics and psychographics. And so what he always says is, basically research, research, plan, execute, analyze, and adjust, right? So the idea there is that, like, you do things, then you analyze that thing, and then you adjust from the analyzation, right? So let's say Bryce makes a channel, he has 10 videos that flop and they do horrible, he has one video that does well, then he goes off into the niche that he's in and he sees all these outliers, all these different things, just like David was talking about, and he sees, all this research that can be done. Daryl calls it recon and research in the course. And then you go back from that, you take all their data and you bring it back, right? So that's what I always tell you, study Peterson's, look at all these other niches.
And that's why I want to know who's his audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you gotta look into the comments. I would look at the profile pictures. I would look at, click into them and see who they are.
Also, don't be afraid to use TubeBuddy or view stats. It tells you a lot about for creators.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
That's what you had us do was
Yeah.
go in the comments, and he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, this guy made this profile in 2011, and he's got a couple kids in his profile picture, so he's probably between the age of 20 and 40.
Yeah.
So we built a generalization off of that.
Yeah.
But because I have no idea.
Yeah, and you just need data. It's a hard thing. You just need data, then you analyze and you adjust from there. So I'm going to finish this up. You can just take a picture of this or write these down. These are some questions that I would ask. Who's the one person that you are making content for? Why are they struggling with what are they struggling with spiritually, emotionally, or practically? What does your ideal view or hope God will change in their life? Or you can change that if you're not doing, religious content. Say, what does your ideal view or hope changes in their life? Where do they already spend their time online? What transformation do you want them to experience through the content? So these are questions that I would just ask myself to help narrow in on that avatar and just see who that person is. And once you start getting some of that clarity, it'll really help you to narrow in and see what's going on. So yeah. But all of this, remember, don't put the cart before the horse. This all comes after your why, right? So Bryce right now is really struggling through purpose and why. He's got 3 different channel ideas now, especially after talking with David at lunch. He's got 3 different channel ideas that he's like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? So he's got to lock in that purpose and that why of what am I actually going to do? Then he can focus on his who, and then he can focus on how, which is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So, anything you guys want to share about avatars and audience and important things?
Yeah, to be quite honest, we've developed this avatar over time, and it changes. He kind of got younger, and also because when I first saw the Promised Land series for the first time, I watched it by myself, and I said, "Oh, I am the audience," And so I went from a marketer to an audience member, and as an audience member, I said, "How would I like this to be presented to me? And how would I like to see this idea be put forward?" That's when Ben came to Collide, and so we both saw that we were the audience, and so for a long time, the audience was Ben and I, and so everything that we saw online and how we perceived short-form content, long-form content, is how we developed our strategy. And if you can't, this is not for everyone, but if you can't sit there and watch your own video, there's a problem. There's a disconnect. If you don't enjoy the content you're making because it's for someone completely different, then that has to be laser focused. I would in marketing world, we test audiences all the time, and we narrow them down. And later on, you'll know that short form media is where you can test these audiences and find out exactly who you should be targeting to. You might discover that it leans younger or older or whatever than you anticipated or than you thought of. But if you don't enjoy your own content, maybe think about that. But B, finding an audience is always kind of a moving target in a way. So don't get so stuck on oh, this isn't for this very, very, very specific person this time, because it can shift one bit. This may be for the woman who is this age but is single. So it's this thing changes. So we think methodically about our audience, and we did by thinking, oh, we're the audience, so how would we like this to be marketed to us? And that's how we market. That's why we believe it kind of exploded in our age group, because it's us, and we were the people we were targeting.
I'll give the opposite side, because they're playing on easy mode apparently. I am not my audience, right? I'm definitely not my audience. It's been a huge question that I've had over the last 4 years. Is how do I know what a 65-year-old woman wants? I don't have those people in my life. My mom's the closest to that, but she's not even as old as my audience. How do I figure this out? So I just have to spend a lot of time with them, listening to their comments, hearing what they have to say, asking them questions. I would do polls on the community tab to say, are you married, are you widowed, are you single? And it gives me some data there as well. So that really, really helped to kind of narrow down some things. You can ask what's your favorite whatever, or different questions on the community tab is really powerful, I think, just to see who is actually engaged with your audience. And yeah, that's what I've done. But it's been very hard for me, I'll say, for sure.
Also a very practical tool for those of you who are running Instagrams and Facebooks. If you go into Meta Business Suites, over to your audience tab, they have an audience. Most accounts should have it. I think you have to have more than 10,000 followers. But there's an audience tab that shows them sociographics, and it also shows brand affinities and what they consume. Wow. And that tells you so much. We know stats we see on the TPL audience versus the stats we see on the House of David audience or the Sony audience are so completely different. Our Sony audience is Walmart, Ben Shapiro, Target, and our younger audience is Amazon, Apple, still Target because it's Target, Temu, Wish. And so that tells you kind of a lot about the stage of life, the age, and also what they're looking for. And that's drastically informed a lot of the campaigns we do and how we reach them.
Cool. That's huge. Any questions about audience before we move on?
I guess a general question is like, something that I've been wondering myself is like, sometimes I can tell, how do I say this? Sometimes I'm reactive in my content. Like I'm like, this has worked for my audience, so I'm just going to do that because I know it works. But I also want to, I feel like that's like usually you're on the trail end of a trend or something. Where then there's the opposite where you're like thinking ahead for them. You're like, I know you're going to be interested in this. Just because I know you. Like I know what you want and I can think just a little bit further ahead of you. Do y'all have any strategies for doing that? Or maybe tactics or thoughts on like how you might be basically like preemptively thinking like, I'm pretty confident my audience is going to be interested in this.
Yeah, the more you know, the more you can do that.
Yeah.
So like I know for a fact if Dallas, like so right now, I mean I actually need to go back and do some work, but Dallas Jenkins posted an Instagram story or something, and he's like, "There's something big coming," you know, like this big thing coming. I'm pretty sure it's like a Christmas special or something that they've secretly filmed and edited, but I don't know, right? So there's going to be probably a speculation video this Sunday of being like, "What was he talking about here? What do you think that this is?" You know, and could it be this, or this that we've heard rumors about, right? And so I know that video will do well. Because I know, but when that video drops, and there is actually some huge surprise, I will have a video out within a matter of minutes, if not hours, right? After that video drops, and I will have it out because it's a timely thing, right? So I know that will hit from that. Because it's just, it will, because I know that, right? I know what they're longing for. So the more that you know your audience, the more that you can preempt that. Sometimes you just get surprised. Sometimes you post a video that you think is going to suck, and it just bangs, right? And it's just like, whatever, YouTube did something weird with it. I was showing some people yesterday. Like I have this random video from yesterday that has like almost $30 RPM, right? Yeah. And so like for me, it's like I can't plan for that, right? I can't plan for like how well this video is going to do or like all the time even. But anyway. Yeah, that's it.
Another thing is inviting your audience into your content pipeline and planning is huge. Inviting your audience into like the content planning and pipeline is huge. Like, first off, it gives them ownership.
What he means by that is let them give you ideas.
Yes. Yeah. Like especially on YouTube, the community tab is such a huge feature. Like literally put a poll on, hey, what do you want to see from me? Right. And you'll be surprised how many people will respond. And then that way, you can put 4 options, you can put 2 options, you can give open dialogue, which I would advise not doing that. Give them some guardrails, but that way they can kind of speak into. And then it gives you, okay, no, I know my audience is wanting this, so I'm going to go produce that. Yeah. And then they now have ownership the moment they see that video pop up in their For You. They're like, oh, I gave him this idea. I got to watch this video. We've seen that work with a lot of creators across the board. And we are in such a lucky time where we have so many ways to like directly talk to our audiences. And let them give us feedback and ideas.
That's good.
What tools would you recommend or do you use to get some of the answers that you, especially the demographics? Seems like YouTube gives you that.
YouTube gives you a lot. YouTube is one of the best platforms for analytics. I mean, it's amazing.
So you would deep dive into whatever demographic, especially somebody who has an existing channel with a ton of subs and videos. You got that information. For a new channel, you can't. I don't have anything.
Right. So you got to kind of run. Walk before you can run, I guess. Yeah. Is the best way to say that. But like YouTube, of course, gives you the analytics here. And I'll kind of show you what mine are. A big thing I've been surprised about as well that has really informed my content with my audience is that it's 50% TV. Yeah. So for me, I have to put QR codes on the screen because they can't click a link. likes on a video because they don't know how to press the like button on TV, right? They just watch it. So, like new viewers, 45%, casual viewers, 25%. I like that they did this, casual and regular viewers.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of see what times they watch, which is all.
And when do you choose what time to? Does that matter to you?
It doesn't. It doesn't. I've heard YouTube say that within the first 2 weeks it doesn't matter. I've also heard people that are like, we need to post at 2 p.m. because that's when it matters for us, right? So I think it depends on your audience, but it also depends on the type of video that you're putting out.
So do you like put it at the, if you do care, do you put it at the peak, the very first, when it gets really
I'll put it right before.
Right before. Yeah.
Yeah, so I probably need to post a little bit later, to be honest with you. I probably post too early in the day, but I think it's like, it's part of my like FOMO of like, I'm done with the video. Why isn't it out yet? You know, like, sort of thing.
I also love how you brought up the traffic source of where people are watching. That tells you so much about your audience. If your audience is watching 70% from TVs, you have to edit differently. You have to release it differently. If you're watching 70% from mobile, you have to edit for that. And
What do you mean edit for that?
So like he said, if you're on TV, you're not clicking, you're not commenting, you really can't. You're not liking or disliking, you can't click link in bio. Like the #1 call to action on YouTube videos is typically click the link in bio. If they're on TV, they can't do that easily. I mean, us smarter people, we know how to do it, but also it sends it to your phone rather than actually opening the link.
So we'll rather do what?
QR code.
A QR code.
So or actually scan with the phone. The QR code, does it go to the channel or go to whatever you're trying to get them to do?
Depends on what I'm trying to do. So the QR, like I'll do a QR code for my Patreon very often, right? And by the way, if you want free QR codes, you don't have to worry about ChatGPT to make them for free.
Okay. And they never expire?
They shouldn't. Yeah. I just say sometimes it messes up, so test it first. Make sure the link actually works. Okay. Sometimes they'll like say they're for free and then they expire after a certain time limit or a certain amount of uses. So if you do need a QR code, I've just been using ChatGPT. But you can see obviously 62% female, and then 32% 65 plus, right? So that's my main demographic.
So when you make videos, so obviously you're targeting, this older lady, but do you ever think about, okay, I mean, it's not that 38% isn't a small amount of your audience.
Correct.
So it's like, are you still like in the back of your mind thinking about those people, or are you just like, nope, I'm making it for this old bird?
I make it for 45 to 65 plus. And then everybody else that likes it is just because I am neat. I'm not.
Favara, if you see this. Favara.
Is it Hispanic?
No, it's Sicilian.
Siciliano. Okay.
I wouldn't pronounce it.
By the way, you need to do mustache. You need to do mustache. What? Something about your mustache. I mean, it's like super cool. It's very identifiable. You also have a mullet, right?
Yes.
So you can do
mustache mullet.
Yeah.
I took my M&M's, baby.
I took my mullet.
You have to make
If I don't do this, I'll shave my mustache.
Yeah.
I mustache you.
Mustache.
Just like you, man, on the street with a mustache.
Yeah, movie.
You inspired me to grow
Oh, it's so yellow.
Too yellow, too natural.
Natural is not natural. Standard is not standard. Dynamic is not
The
dynamic.
first thing I get,
This TV
when I get
sucks.
big money is I'm gonna get some mustache implants.
I like movie.
Movies.
That's what you're gonna do with your money?
Feels very
Natural.
flat.
I was gonna say, you're not blowing up. I'll make sure.
I'm gonna get all my follicles and put them here.
Brightness is all the way down.
You and
Turn it up.
This is the brightest TV known to man.
I mean,
I saw
I like it.
people, they get
Something with my old man eyes.
They'll get implants.
Yeah, turn that contrast
Where's the OLED?
first.
But your hair is still receding. So like
There we go.
at some point you'll have fresh hair up here, you'll have a patch up here, then you'll have
69.
Nice.
Why not 6'7"?
Every time.
Because I'm not brainwashed.
It sends him to like seizure.
You seen that guy who's like in a recovery home?
How much does a video cost?
His friends go like this.
For me?
Alright,
If you
go
go
on.
So,
They're
luckily
like
right now,
visiting him like in the recovery house.
I would say at most a video cost me $200. So the one that cost me the most money was only eating Disney food for 100 hours. That came out to
so expensive.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually am not going to tell you how much it was. You're going to have to watch the video.
I'm gonna
He
throw this out there.
Plot twist, he tells us in the first
Throw this out there. Fake an overnight challenge, please.
Oh no, I
Fake
can't.
an overnight
No.
challenge. So like,
I I don't fake my content.
Yeah, I was just say, faking content, is that not frowned upon?
I got
So
a better way you can afford it next time. Do eating food I stole from Disney.
Yeah. What was that?
Dude,
Food I stole from Disney.
he did this one video, and he literally stole like a gallon of milk or creamer. I literally texted him, I was like, I cannot believe
I needed it for my creamer in the morning.
it was like free creamer from Starbucks.
From Disney?
Yeah. He like went to Starbucks at Disney and just poured it into his like huge carafe.
That's a total steal.
Like open the door.
You should do a sub series of bankrupting Disney one trip at a time.
We've talked about ideas about this too.
And like finding the hacks.
I had this idea for a Christmas party.
I want to do this next year.
Where like he throws a Christmas party at his house, but he can only use food that he's taken from like free Disney Christmas stuff.
Yeah, because they have a Christmas party where you get unlimited hot chocolate and unlimited cookies. So, and I want to theme it or almost like structure it like an Ocean's 11 movie.
Yeah,
Where it's like I gotta assemble my team. It's like cinematic.
All right, let's see this for people who haven't seen Dino's stuff before. This is his best video here at 156K.
I went to 15 of Disney's top pools because I wanted to see which ones were actually worth their money. I used to be a lifeguard at the Disney pools, and it always has me wondering, was it worth it? Was it actually fun to stay at the pools instead of going to the parks? Is it worth spending $200 or $400 or even $700 a night just to have access to these pools? Oh, and why do all the Disney pools smell the same? This weekend, I'm trying out the top 15 pools to see which ones are worth your time and your money. Starting at the very
This is
bottom,
killer.
right? We're here to support Bay Pool, right?
I love the things like, and why does every pool smell the same?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff
That
is
sticks.
huge. Like that's what I was like, that's hilarious.
And this is easily translates to short form content.
And then he completes that loop at the very end as well.
I want to watch it.
These suckers to sit and marinate for about 4 nights. It's time to check it out. I'm really nervous. What science supposedly says is that this is gonna smell like a pool, and this is gonna smell like nothing at all. And if this smells like a pool,
The other half sounds only good. Is there a review?
no, it's not gonna be good for me, personally.
Then you gotta watch it to find out. So,
So one
I
thing
love
would-
that. Thank you, Brandon.
One thing I would say, and I don't know if this is me. So I get the text is blue because it's like pool water's blue, but then there was a section where like the text was there, but the pool and the text like blended together, so I wasn't able to see it.
I think it's this straight. It's kind of my brand colors. It's like a way
it's teal here. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like more neon green.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see the text.
It's that much different. That's
You should
crazy.
do the drinking around the world challenge is massive, but like family orienting it, like that's non-alcoholic drinking, you're like sober drinking around the world.
Responsibly drinking around the world. Have 1 tequila shot.
Here's another intro. This is the one you wanted us to check out.
Yeah.
Dino asked us to play this one too. This one's at 5.5K a month ago.
I would say I would be interested in watching the first 3 to 4 minutes of this.
Let's do it.
You get one.
Okay, got it.
Everyone thinks this is a golf ball.
Golf ball.
Golf ball.
That's Epcot.
Spiky ball. They just think that there's something in there.
But it's not. It's a ride, and it's considered one of the lowest rated rides here at Disney. So I decided to ride this sucker to see what the fuss was about. As a self-proclaimed history buff, that was way more fun than everyone said it was. And this led me to a few questions. What other underrated rides are there? What caused such low rankings? And should Disney get rid of them in exchange for something better? So I made a list of the 5 worst rides in all of Disney World to see which one we should keep or let go. The first one on this list is in Epcot. Mission Space, the orange one. Yeah, no one likes this ride, and yet it's still 55-minute wait. Fun fact, this is the only ride on property that comes with complimentary barf bags. One of my favorite memories from this ride is the fact that my brother and I, when we were about 12 to 14, we rode this, and some other random 14-year-old could not stop acting like we were actually space cadets. So I decided I had to do that too.
Oh no.
Alright, listen up, recruits.
Oh yeah.
Maggots, I want everybody's attention. Today is going to be the hardest mission of your life.
This is
And now
exactly
there's
what I
only 2
said.
things you can do.
Watch
Survive. You ever been to space before? Yeah.
I actually know so.
First man in space. Matt Frost. That's huge. You need one of these? I'll offer you one of these too. Hold on, guys. We'll get through this. Great job, Alfred. Oh, you did great. All right, recruit. Welcome to your first mission to space. You did fantastic. I'm gonna give you your imaginary wings. Okay. There you go. I'm a good pilot. Great job, Alfred. Thank you. Have a good rest of your space travels. Yeah, so it only took like 15 minutes. Yeah, this ride holds up. You gotta keep it. Next up, just a short ways away, was Journey into Imagination with Figment. This place was awesome. Honestly, it
So this is like kind of the vibe.
It's
It's like
2000.
I tried to get into it as fast as I could. I wanted to give as much like entertainment within this first 3 minutes. The thing that I guess kind of I think you brought it up to me, but it's like I tried to make it of like, hey, I'm gonna ride the worst rides, but each of them I'm gonna try and showcase like what can you actually love about each of these rides. But I guess I'm just like, I feel like I really like how I edited this video.
Yes.
And if you like watch the rest of it, like I did spend a good amount of time on it, just like making sure there was never really a dull moment. But it is like my lowest performing video within the last 6 months. So I guess I'm just like, I don't know
think
if
part of
it's
it
just
might
the idea or
part of it might be the intro. Like
yeah,
this idea here of the Epcot ball.
Everyone thinks this is a golf ball.
Golf ball.
Yeah,
it doesn't really relate to the rest of the video.
Ball. I just think that there's something in
You bypass it so quickly that it almost makes the intro like null for me.
Interesting.
I
think
I forgot the
thinking about the thumbnail and the title. I completely forgot about the thumbnail and the title as we started watching this because your editing is incredible when I was locked in. But thinking about the thumbnail and the title, your intro has nothing to do with either of those things if there's only there for the first 10 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, are you guys saying then? Because I guess what's interesting too is like this is the only one in all the like the last 6 where I do the intro physically in the park. All the others, it's like in my room, kind of very Ryan Trahan sort of that sort of.
I love the.
Right, exactly.
Don't hear me wrong. I love the intro. Like even Ben was like, oh yeah, like in the very beginning of the video. But you gave me everything I needed to know about the spiky ball immediately.
Yeah.
Like why not say?
I guess
like
my thought was
what's the mystery about this ball? Let me go to all these other rides, and then this one's the last one.
You could have started like
Okay.
after when you started talking about like
That's
there's a lot of
true.
rides that are should we keep them and then like include this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like it would have been so funny. Like I enjoy your videos just personally,
Sure,
right?
yeah,
I think it's so
appreciate
funny.
that,
I love your editing. But it would have been so funny if you did the whole video. You tease us at the beginning.
Okay.
Do the
I
whole
see what
video,
you're
and
saying.
every ride is like, oh man, this is great. It's actually great. The last one, yeah, this one actually sucks. You know.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, don't go to this one.
So it's almost like, because I think that's really helpful, because I feel like my train of thought here was like, let me give him a quick win. Let me just like, let me give a quick review of a ride that everyone says is bad. Boom, okay, but hold on, let me show you these other rides that everyone thinks is bad. But what you're kind of saying is like, this actually might have been better if you set it up with like, yeah, this is notoriously a bad ride.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of these other bad rides first, and like, hopefully, like I've heard this is actually better than everyone thinks or something.
Make it more of a mystery. Like
Right.
this is one of the most iconic like pieces. Like you think of like the not religious, but the holy symbols, right? Like we talked about through like
Right,
storyboard
yeah.
or whatever, right? Like this is one of the religious symbols of Disney. Like they use it everywhere. It's on everything, right? When you think Disney, you think of this golf ball, right? And so the whole idea would be like, there's this mystery around it. It's actually a ride, but is it any good?
Yeah.
You know, and then you go to it at the very end. I think that would have hit way harder.
And then it's just like, yeah, it sucks.
And then you end the video immediately.
That's like a super Sean edit right there. Sean is so good at that, like building something up and then just being like super dry and funny and just.
Okay, so another thing too is like, I might have shot myself in the foot, but I took a creative choice that I kind of, in posting this, I was like, I don't freaking care that retention's gonna drop. I'm posting it anyways, and because something I do in the pool video was I made a little song, like a little jingle that goes along with like, is there pee in the pool, right? And I still get, like, I have a Discord with like just 5 of my audience members. I did a very light push on my last video's comments. And one of the dudes literally like sent me a voice memo and singing. He's like, I sing this every time I go to the pool now. And everyone else was like, yeah, me too. And everyone that like my wife knows, who is like, like all of her friends, like, oh my gosh, my kids can't stop singing this song when they go to the pool. And I'm like, okay, I like this.
Put it on Spotify.
But
if you need a distributor for DSPs, call me.
I got you. Okay. But so with this, maybe part of it is like the retention actually didn't drop very much with this, but I added a song at the end of this one. But what was hard was like I filmed it, I had this idea, I made the song, and as I'm filming it, like I kind of just as I was putting the video together, I was like, I have no idea where to stick this thing into the song. Or into the video, so I just like slapped it at the end.
That's
and like just
Bring
made
it up.
into a little thing. If you go to like, yeah, right around there is probably a good place to.
Can we hear the Bee in the Pool song?
Yeah, watch it.
My childhood.
Real quick, what are your thoughts on reposting this video?
Reposting it?
Yeah, just taking it down.
Like just
editing it. Maybe
I
making
don't
a
hate
thumbnail,
that
just
idea, I
reposting it.
Yeah.
Because
reworking the intro.
I think there's so much
What's the
potential.
thumbnail for this one?
Him on a roller coaster getting blasted.
No, it's the one with
that one
here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
At the
This
speedway.
whole time, sorry.
If
I thought we were doing the dangerous, right?
If you're starting in, someone correct me if I'm wrong. If you're starting with like the whole question around the Epcot thing, could you not do one where like you're pointing up at the ball? Like there was a
I
shot.
actually have a thumbnail like that, but I just like played around with it. I just didn't like it. Maybe I can try the thumbnail though, just to see like if it works.
Like what is it? Or something.
I think it would confirm the click a lot harder.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
For sure. Okay.
But then that doesn't relate to the rest of the video, does it?
Yeah.
Because the rest of the video is ranking the worst, right?
Yeah.
Or you can be like this
something.
is a ride.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, I had no idea that was a ride.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
Physical. Look, I'm excited for the new re-themes. I am, but I can't help but be sad it's leaving. However, as I look at this list and I think about if we should keep it or let it go, I realize no matter how much I love Dinosaur, we gotta let it go. We gotta let it go. Because sometimes dinosaurs need to become extinct. And when they do, they instantly become more valuable. By unceremoniously marinating under obscene geological pressure for eons only to be unearthed by greedy tycoons who brainwash us into becoming an automobile-centric society. Sorry about that. It's my bad. But anyway, Navi River Journey is the worst ride for sure. However, even though it's the worst ride, I still believe that every ride has a little bit of hidden treasure inside. What will we do with the hidden treasure? What will we do with the hidden treasure? What will we do with the hidden treasure? Traveling follows our pleasure. Way, hey, find the hidden magic. Way, hey, every ride is fantastic. Way, hey, find the hidden magic. Ride them follows our pleasure.
This was nerve too.
I bet.
Dancing in public.
Dude, that's insane. No, I love the song. Did you write it or was that you?
No, I wrote it. Yeah.
If you need help writing songs for this type of stuff,
Yes.
See my wife.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
don't
Let's
kill
go.
me. Suno.
Oh no! No! You get flagged later.
So
I asked my audience, and I was like, before coming here, I was like, in the DMs, I was like, or in Discord, I was like, hey, what do you want more of? Like, what is, maybe give me some feedback here. And everyone was like, more songs, more songs.
Disney
that,
Diddles.
that's
Yeah.
merch. That translates to merch.
Yeah, there is some distribution DSP.
but we can stop blazing Dino now.
Sure. Please.
You have the same problem that Mike has, which
Yeah.
is consistency.
Yeah.
Right? In the last year, you've posted 5 videos.
Dino! Disappointing Dino.
Sorry, guys. I think I've posted almost 350 videos.
Nice.
Come on. We've posted like 1,400, so.
Yeah. This guy's I definitely, I think I have to get creative with bringing on an editor and really just bite the bullet and do the work to like train them on what I want from them. Part of it is like, especially, I've mentioned it with like the pool video, the candy video, less of the AI video. Like most of my videos more recently, I've done a little bit of better job of. Like actually with this Disney Worst Ride video, I had a friend who is an editor for Elevation. I had him just pull the selects and like do a basic edit, and then I only spent like maybe 2.5 weeks putting the final touches on everything, which was way better than the pool video, which literally took me 6 months. So it's like, yeah, from starting recording, going to all the pools, editing it, in whole took me 6 months. So I definitely am like, okay, I think I just need to, one, really step up my leadership and my systems to like train an editor to, because even my lowest performing video makes $200. So I'm like, I can pay someone $200 to edit my video for me. Like it's not a big deal.
I mean, yeah, if it drastically changes your output, it writes itself off
totally.
easily.
So I definitely lean towards that, but I think what was a problem was like the kind of getting how do I say this? Like I really do put my heart and soul into like, how do I make this as good as possible? But I knew I had to get to this process where I was like, what shots do I need? What are the structure elements I'm going to be using? And I thought what he was sharing with yesterday was like super helpful for me, because I was like, okay, like that gives me more, Lego pieces to play with to figure out like, how do I structure my stories better?
Yeah.
And that's along those lines. That's why I'm kind of trying to think through what's another type of video I can like interlace with this, where it's like, okay, maybe I can make something that's a little bit more systemized, like a cash cab in the lines, that can just be rinse repeat, and I can film like 3 in a day and have a great time or something. I don't know, like,
Any other thoughts that pop to your guys' mind that's like, Dino needs to do this, it would be a simple, easy, one-day shoot sort of thing?
I think Disney trivia in lines.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Is it too out of your thing to talk about like the whole history of Disney?
I think so.
Too out.
Because I mean, that I can do that in my videos, and I think that's why people liked my pool videos. Because like, the pool video in itself is supposed to be entertaining, but throughout it, I'm like, if you're like a family, don't come here. Like, go to someone else. Like, because this.
I don't know if this would be a great idea. You can all beat me if it's wrong. But like going along with your trivia video idea and the one that I was talking about, where like you're hunting for like pins, maybe like you could find like a very rare pin, and whoever can answer these trivia questions in the line gets the pin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a video like my wife.
Or hide it in the park and have your community find it.
Yeah, I gotta find it or something like that.
Oh, I was gonna say too. Maybe you could do like I don't know how big your community is, or like if they're all in, if there's any.
There's just like 5 people in my Discord right now.
Okay, no, so maybe whenever you get bigger, you could be like, "Where's Dino?" And then like you be like, This is also where the merch comes in play, because like in order to identify them, they have to be wearing your merch.
Yeah.
So like you could be like, "Oh, there's one over there. She's probably looking for me right now." Like you hide.
Like basically a manhunt in the parks.
Exactly.
That's really good. Yeah.
You could be in a line. They could be. He's on the ride. He's on the ride. Things like that.
What about like testing Disney? Like, this is not like a quick one or anything.
Sure.
Like, can we test like how clean the parks are at Disney or whatever? Because I'm sure there's a lot of germaphobe moms out there.
Yeah.
But like you leave like a piece of trash somewhere, and then you turn like next day you go back see what's there.
Yeah. Like see how long it takes.
You do the cast member Olympics without them knowing.
Yes.
Like this is.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're gonna see if Frederico can handle our tasks today. That'd be so funny.
Do you know, would you ever consider like a Disney on a budget like type video?
100%. I have a video coming out where I tried to stay at the cheapest possible location in a Disney property. I mentioned it, and I just went camping. In the tent. And it was fun. It was a great time.
Another idea is like reacting to Disney adults.
Yeah.
You don't want to wake them up.
You don't want to wake them. I have thought of.
You do. If they're
You know
follow
those?
you.
That's what I was thinking about for short form. Is the video of the guy who like he's wearing the construction outfit. He like walks in with a ladder. Like he like is reacting to the different clips of people. I could do that with Disney adults where I'm like in line and I see a girl sobbing, hugging Winnie the Pooh, and I'm like,
You know, doing
Could you,
that.
would you do like a video where like you go to all the most popular rides and try to like work backwards on how much money each ride makes for Disney?
Interesting.
Or something like that.
I drank from every body of water at Disney.
Actually, it's not bad.
You could find like
That's actually hilarious.
Oh, you're trying to figure out like how much the worst rides make and how much the best rides make, or how many people go on them a day. Maybe they just have.
There would just need to be a deeper like storyline that's
right.
connected through, but yeah.
How open are you to skit-based content?
Totally open.
Disney dad, like build out a persona of Disney dad over the top.
I've been thinking about like different characters I could do.
Or like Disney dad stereotypes.
Wait, can you
Oh,
dress
yeah.
Can
Like
you dress up
John-
as Goofy and
John
Terry?
Chris does that kind of stuff really well.
How?
Like a dude perfect stereotype.
But your content is so like quick and like fast. Like most of these like would, not most of it, probably all of it, because if it's all pretty much the same, like the way it's edited, like would crush online.
Yeah, I mean, if you had 200, 300,000 subscribers and you release that worst rated ride video, you're getting at least 3 or 4 million views. I mean, think about, do a lot of case studies on Suriati.
Yeah, no, I've looked into a lot of his stuff.
He was tiny for the longest time, and then literally overnight blew up. Just because his edits are incredible. He does such a great concept with like a similar edit style and story style.
Yeah.
I thought this one was so funny.
Where's the audio?
Something that might be interesting is, could I read off the potential videos that I want to make next year?
Please.
Yeah. And y'all tell me which y'all think are duds, or potential bangers, or like variations of that might make it better. The first two are videos I've already filmed, and I'm trying to put into the pipeline with my friend who's editing some of these videos. Is one, I rode every ride at Universal Studios alphabetically. So just completely terrible, but it was awesome.
I love that.
You already did this one?
I already did it, so that's there. I found Disney's cheapest overnight stay, and it's gonna be me camping at Disney. Just another, I rode every coaster in blank, so probably either Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, or something like that.
Which ones?
Maybe. It's a good idea. One was I tried 5 levels of hotels around Disney or in Disney. So like Disney has a very clear structured like value, moderate, resort, deluxe, whatever. So I could just like ball out and try and get into each of those.
What are all the places you're wanting to go? Like you could go Universal,
Dollywood,
Disney, Legoland, Busch Gardens. Is there anything else? Gatorland.
Gatorland,
I think would be fun.
That'd be very fun.
Aldenville Flea Market.
Would you, this is me spitballing an idea. This just might be terrible, but like, you try to make a video on where you think each Disney character's favorite ride would be.
Yeah.
Just like I thought, like this is what I think Goofy's favorite ride would be, and explain why. And like I don't know.
The one thing I have with that though is like that feels more education almost of like conceptual, where I feel like I feel what the value I bring is like absurd idea.
Yeah, that is 100% the word I was gonna say.
Yeah.
If Ryan Tran is quirky, you are absurd.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the word
Well,
that
that's why
defines-
songs, and every one of these has a song.
Yeah. That's why going with that idea, ranking every bathroom at Disney.
Dude.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the word that we need to pinpoint on. Is like,
is it ranked or is I used every?
Wow,
that's a lot.
Well, how are you gonna rank it?
That's true.
Imagine running down the street with like laxative.
What about Can I Survive at Disney with like blank amount of money, like $50 a day or something like that? Like you try to like survive, which is obviously not. You'll be fine, but like, could you make it through a whole Disney day with only $50?
Yeah.
So like you try to find the cheapest like snacks, and you try to like,
It's such a good absurd way to show how good budget it is.
I just donate. Just stuff it out, guys.
Have you seen the? I've only seen this in short form, but it could still be an idea. Where like this, people will. This happened at the Minnesota State Fair, so I don't know if this is.
Third largest state fair in the USA.
a nationwide thing or what, but it was like asking people at the Minnesota State Fair if I can have a bite of their food.
Oh my gosh.
So like you go up to people at Disney and you're like, hey, like can I? And you're like friendly enough, right? So you're not like giving creepy or whatever.
See how many people.
And just be like, hey, like can I have a bite of that? And just like seeing how many people would like allow you to have a bite, and then be like, see, you can eat at Disney for free or whatever. You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool.
Say it in front of them.
What's
You
the
guys see it now?
What do you have to do to get kicked out of Disney?
Very little.
There's like, I wouldn't want you to do something, then you get kicked out.
No, that would be fine. If I was, that would be fine to ask.
You should do. I asked AI to plan my perfect Disney day and it tried to kill me.
Actually, that is one of my.
He did that video.
It did try and kill me though.
Well, you should put that.
Maybe, but it technically didn't try to kill me though. But I changed it to this, where it's I tried Disney AI tips.
The bad kind.
Yeah, that's the bad kind.
Which I actually, funny enough, I think I really like that video too.
Was the thumbnail different though? I thought it was different.
I've changed it a few times.
I just thought like, do this one and then.
$6,000. That's how much an average family
Okay, maybe
spends
it's
on a
just me, but I
5-day
love
trip to
the
Disney.
family.
That's insane. If I'm dropping that kind of fat stacks, I need everything to be perfect. So like any normal person in 2025, I asked AI to plan out the perfect day at Disney. We followed it exactly because we wanted to answer a few questions. Was it possible? Was it fun? And does AI know better than us? By the end of this video, you'll know how to make every dollar count at Disney World. So we started the night before by asking ChatGPT a question. What's the perfect time to show up at Disney? Dad, the perfect day.
Dude, your meme awareness is incredible. I appreciate that. I tried every trash can at Disney.
I threw away every trash.
I ate out of every trash.
Also, living or day in the life at Disney as the Pixar lamp, and you have to move like the Pixar lamp the entire video.
Just hop around.
Oh my gosh.
I really want to see the cast Olympics. The crew member Olympics would be so funny.
Yeah, just get a tier. You like 10. Be like, all right. Like you said, Federico, Veronica,
and they just become unwilling, unknowing characters.
Yeah.
Where like you set up the camera, and you just walk by and drop a piece of paper, but you have to do that in 4 separate spots.
Yeah.
These crew members are. It's so funny.
Another idea I had that I think could be a potential bucket, but it would change. But I just love this idea. It's like I experienced the hottest and then the coldest day at Disney, and so I have to film the coldest day within the next month or so. But then just like cut to like me in the middle of July, just like blazing hot.
with
And I'm
a
like,
park on.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm just like, I feel like that sort of too, like, could be a potential concept of like I experienced the blank and then the other blank, and not being scared to do it outside of chronological order.
What's like the coldest it gets in Orlando? It's like 40 degrees, you know?
Yeah. So it would have to be, you know, try and find the coldest day, which is around January time period or something.
32. How serious and like locked in is Disney about the height requirements?
Relatively. I mean, every kid does have to.
I brought a midget to Disney. Let's see how many rides you can get on that.
Yeah, I think it'd be funny to like test the limits of height requirements at Disney.
But how easily is it?
Find a midget, go in 1-inch
Put
heel
'em-
increments, and
Or
see if they're allowed to
put 'em on
ride
shoulder.
the
Or you bring a measuring tape and you measure every ride and go take it against the height requirement to see if the height requirement's legit or not.
Okay.
That's fine.
Kind of like seeing. You're saying like me physically test it in the sense of like, okay, let me take the measuring stick and see if I can
It's
find.
like the most narrow part in the ride, seeing how tall it is.
Taking that.
Actually, I feel like that'd probably get you kicked out of
Yeah.
the measuring tape on a ride.
Just a little bit. It is funny though.
I feel like it would be really funny if you tried to scam Disney by bringing somebody that's exactly 1 centimeter or 1 inch below the height requirement. Like you just find exactly what that is.
That I do like that.
What if they die?
Also, just a potential idea for your camping video where you like did the overnight camp. I don't know what your like thumbnail and title might be, but something that could be cool is like making the packaging seem like you camped in the park itself, and being like, oh, I camped at Disneyland overnight. But then like I feel like I would click on that faster than like
For sure.
You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
like, just
totally.
You've already been ideating a thumbnail for this, right?
I have it. I just have to retake pictures of me. But yeah, I have a pretty good composition. It's pretty much what you just said.
Okay,
So
cool.
that's good.
Yeah.
So you're onto something.
Future YouTuber here.
What about camping with no tent?
Just laying out the
True.
That's what
Being the true.
I became homeless at this
True.
point.
See,
Another.
do what they did with the Mr. Beast in the pool, like laying on the thing, except you're like laying on a mattress and it's like zoomed out of Disney.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. That's fun.
Have you ever seen anybody wearing a tuxedo at Disney?
No. But
Why not you?
Why not me? Something that someone. This is where it kind of gets tricky. Is like, right now I'm definitely like Disney World or like Disney Parks focused. But something I've been tempted to do is like branch more towards like Disney as a whole. So one thing that I feel like would slap is I watched every DCOM in existence, like just every Disney Channel original movie, just in a row. It would be terrible and maybe not even possible, but I feel that's been like something I've been thinking about is like diving into like the Disney Channel aspect of it too. One, because I love Hannah Montana, and she's coming back next year. I love High School Musical. I think High School Musical 2 is the best one out of the three.
Big facts.
Yeah, that song does go free.
Well, that way you can get the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
Hey, it could be the start of something new. We thought about writing a book.
I really like, given the style of your editing and like the way that goes on into camera, I think if you went into the Disney content space, it would perform really well. Like, do you watch Aaron and Joe at all? They did the whole like every Disney Channel original movie thing. They take it from a much different lens. They take it from the lens of like, these suck, and we're gonna rip this apart. But they're hilarious.
Yeah.
And I think yours could be hilarious in a very different way. And it's also like, it could be cool like eventually pulling your kids into it. And yeah, I really like get into the content.
You have to do replacing Pokemon.
Since when?
Did you do that one yet?
I haven't done that yet. Actually.
Damn,
That's actually
you
You did like
That's actually
That's fine.
Who did this for you?
Okay, Squarespace. That was very helpful.
Top line pro.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, dude, this is killing.
Yeah. Keep at it, dude.
Mills!
Actually, you know,
Alright.
You should make her the pro.
I was actually mad.
6 months. I can see one.
Yeah.
No, but you gotta do
A lot of it was like I just didn't know. I like had all the content,
Of course.
and I just was like, I don't. It was more so like the vision for it. I was
No,
like,
no.
I don't know how to put this together. And I wrestled with that a lot. So
I mean, dude, really good.
appreciate that.
I cannot believe you
I didn't
made
know
what
when you
kind
were
of
going.
And like, and as we talked about last night, a couple of you guys have some really hard struggles with consistency. Whereas like Matt will post every week and he will die if he doesn't. You know, like that's the type of thing that he's doing. And so there's trade-offs to that. But let's talk about why systems matter. Systems matter because number one, they reduce decision fatigue. So for me, if I know I am going live every single Sunday and it's Friday night, or like right now on Saturday, I don't know fully what I'm going to talk about tomorrow night. If I do a live stream, I might be way too tired. I might call it off actually, but we'll see. But normally it's like I will do a live stream or I will die. Like I have to do it unless I absolutely can't. I'm out of town, I'm in Israel, whatever else. And I know that, you know, coming up on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I need to have a plan for Sunday. If I don't have a plan for Sunday, everything will fall apart and it will fail, right? So that is a non-negotiable for me. It's like, it will happen. It will happen. So it reduces my decision fatigue of like, should I make a video this week? What am I going to make it on? How am I going to do that? It's like, it forces me to do those things because I have a system. It saves time, definitely. If I have a system of, again, my system is different than your guys', but I use live streaming to help me save time. So I do a live stream, maybe I work 12 hours on a Sunday, but then I work 30 minutes to an hour and a half, maybe, throughout the week, right? On each day, right? So, like for this week, for for example, I did my live stream, then Monday I got all my content done, I didn't have to do anything else for the rest of the week, right? All my stuff was scheduled, ready to go, and it just went out, without me thinking about it. Helps you stay consistent. This is, I think, a really big thing for you guys. If you can have systems in place that are like, I do this here, I have to complete this here, this is how it works, this is how my content works, it'll just help you stay consistent in that, and it'll help you kind of make it rote for you to go through these processes and be more creative more often. That's a huge thing there. It can increase quality, and so as you have these systems in place, you have your color grading system, you have your audio system, you have your editing system, you have your filming system. All these things can help you increase quality because you're not thinking about every little thing every little time and changing it every single time you make a video, right? So stop reinventing the wheel. You're gonna stop adding in like all these useless things, like every new software, every new thing. Like you're gonna have your system that works for you. Then you can pick and choose what you want to add to it eventually. You don't have to like keep reinventing what you do every single video. And then it helps you build a pipeline that works even when life gets busy, right? So even when things are happening, you have systems that are in place to help you do these things. So yeah, let's continue on. One of my favorite quotes is from Atomic Habits, which is, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And this is very true. If I have a goal of 1 million subscribers, I'm not necessarily going to rise to that goal immediately. But if I don't have a system in place to help me keep creating content, I am going to get inconsistent. I am going to get to a place where my quality falls or whatever else, right? If I have systems in place, I won't be able to fall below that threshold. And so I create sort of a floor to what my quality and what my content is, right? And so that's a big thing. So what are my systems? As I talked about before, I live stream, right? I would call myself a live streamer that turns those into YouTube videos, right? A YouTuber that uses live stream to film, right? And so I never, basically ever, until this night life now, film outside of a live stream. I'm very comfortable. I sit in my studio, same place, same time, right? And I have particular topics that I want to cover, and I talk to people, right? And so I do that I normally come home from church, I sit down from probably like, let's say noon, 1 p.m. until, let's say 9, 10 p.m., sometimes later, right? And that's my day. I just sit down and do it. So 9, 10 hours on a Sunday, and I normally start streaming now I'm streaming like 4:30 is my time. And so I'll go from 4:30 to 8 o'clock or 9 sometimes, just depends on the day, depends on the live stream. Sometimes the live stream is 2 hours, sometimes it's been up to like 5.5. Just depends on what we're talking about. So my system is I take that live stream, I then take it down from YouTube and everywhere else, and then it just goes to YouTube members and then my Patreon, so they have to have access. So if it's a really compelling topic, this is a really good onboarding time for new patrons. So if I do my live stream and it's like, Dallas Jenkins just shot somebody, right? Pretend that that's the title, right? Dallas Jenkins just shot somebody. I do my live stream, it's open to everybody, right? But then the second I end my live stream and it gets shut off, the people who are late or they just saw it now, they're now seeing a members only stream. And they have to subscribe, right? They have to join. And so that is a pretty big driver. Every week, I would say, I've got 1 or 2 members that are coming in through that, that are just like, I have to see this thing and now I've lost access to it, right? So that's a big piece there. Then I turn those clips into videos, and it's very, like you saw my video yesterday. It seemed like a scripted intro. It's really just me thinking about ahead of time what I want the intro for this video to be, and then I just go through it, right? And then it's slight editing of like, I'm not editing anything out, I'm really just changing the punch in and things like that. And so, yeah, for me, that's my system. That's what works for me. Allows me to get out a lot of content, and allows me to stay consistent, and allows me not to spend, hours and hours and hours editing, which I don't want to do, at least for this stuff. So, yeah, what are your systems? Any systems that you guys think that you have right now that are like, yeah, I think that's a good system?
Well, I know for me, for my short form on Instagram, and I know this is like more YouTube focused, but I think I have a really dialed in system for my short form content where I'll record like 5 or 6 reels in one sitting, and then my system for editing it, I do the same thing every time where I have, depending on the style I want the B-roll be, because like all my videos I'm talking about X biblical topic, and I'm always including animated B-roll of whatever I'm talking about. And my system is I'll take my transcript, I'll go to ChatGPT, and it knows the styles that I like, and I say, oh, use this style, use the transcript, give me like 2 or 3 images for each different topic, and then I open up Midjourney or whatever AI image generator I'm using, just copy paste all of them, and then they all generate in Midjourney. I find which one I like, I hit animate, and then I just download them and import them all into my file, and then literally from me opening CapCut to me like completing like a standard, obviously some reels take more time than others, but on average, I could get one out every like 45 minutes.
Wow. And you're doing everything in CapCut?
And I'm doing everything in CapCut, so and then I have all my sound effects and whatever all in the folder, so I drag in that, and then I use the same like 2 or 3 background music for like each one of my reels, like Time by Hans Zimmer is like the one that I use like by far the most. And then I just import in the B-roll, and then I just drag it where it needs to be. CapCut has a great auto when I record my reels, I read them like line by line. I memorize like one line at a time. But CapCut automatically will go in and get rid of all the ums, get rid of all the dead space, and then that cuts my 4-minute recording down to like 2-ish minutes, and then I go in manually and make the cuts as quick as possible, and then go and add the B-roll, add the same song, add a couple sound effects, and then I'm done. I can usually do that in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But before, that would take me like 2 hours if I'm thinking about like all these different types of things, but that just makes it really, really easy. But that's like short form Instagram specific, but I don't have my system for YouTube yet, but I'm sure I'll figure that out.
Anybody else on the system?
I feel a pretty good system for idea capture and like planning my videos more so now. I have a Notion template where it's just a database with every single idea, and every single idea I just click a little button, it pops up a template where it just asks me a few questions about the idea. It has spots for like screenshots of thumbnail, potential thumbnails. Is it an idea? Is it an approved idea, which means like it's a yes, or is it just like, oh, what if this? And then kind of goes down the line, and it kind of helps keep everything organized for me. So now, do I stick to those timelines I set? No. But there's that.
Yeah. So let's look at marks of a good system. So a good system is repeatable. It's predictable. I think this is probably one of the most important pieces for me personally, because predictability helps you to understand where it's going to go in the future and how you can use it, and you can expect that result, which I think is really, really big. It's efficient. It's documented, so it's down somewhere normally. I'm not the greatest at this. Sometimes I'm like, it's all in my head. I think I can hold it all there. I try to use my notes app. That's what I use mainly. I've got like a folder called the Snipe Life and a folder called the Sleuth Subjects is what it's called. And so I just have infinite scroll of so many ideas over the years of just the same thing. I just put new stuff at the top, and I have all that ready to go. So I like to use that. And then it can be flexible. So it doesn't need to be so rigid. Like Dino's system is not going to be rigid in any way ever, right? No. Like Dino's system is never going to be like, I show up at Disney at 10 a.m. and then I film from 12 to 1. Like it's never going to be
hard pass. That's not happening.
But for me, it can be flexible, but it's also like I need it more rigid for me because I'm just it's the way that I am, right? And so everybody's going to be a little bit different. But I do think that these are marks of a good system here. All right, now types of systems. We've got content creation systems, which is kind of what we're talking about here. Like we were talking about, more organizational systems. So in my SSDs that I have all my information on, right? I can pull this up to show you in a bit, but I've got like work, and then I have Snipe Life, Chosen Sleuth, and then each of those I have everything organized. Like I'm not like a detail-oriented person generally. Like I'm not like a spreadsheet guy. I'm not a numbers guy. Like other than some analytics stuff I like. It's just not really my personality. But for this, I realized very quickly, like I have to be organized, right? So how I organize it is my data and stuff is like by channel and then by date. And so I'll have like a general folder that will have all my assets and things like that I need. A live stream folder that has anything for live streams that I need. And then outside of that, it's mostly like dates. So I'll start with like, what's today? 12, 6, 25, and then I'll put a little descriptor of what it is. That way I can always go back to YouTube and see when I posted that item, and then I know, like, this week I posted these things, I can go back to that date and I can always find it. And I have all my stuff backed up to a big NAS and all that kind of stuff, so I can always go back and find old videos if I need them. And so that way the system is always the same, it's always by date, and it always is organized for me. And that really, really helps. So I'm able to,
Like, so when you said, like, all your stuff is backed up, is that, like, to, like, a cloud thing?
A NAS is a network attached storage, so, like, on my phone I can access that network attached storage at home.
I see.
And it's got, like, I think we have, like, 40 terabytes or something in it right now.
That's great. That's awesome.
It's not filled up, but that's the capacity we have
Okay,
at the moment. I think we're probably at, like, 15, 20 terabytes of actual, like, stuff from the sniper. Like, this is from 5 years, you know,
Yeah.
of stuff.
How much? So this is a question, like, kind of branching off of that, because, like, I bought like a terabyte, just like it's like little like SSD or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's already almost full, and so like I'm getting to the point where
A
like
terabyte is not big enough.
No.
Yeah.
So like my question is like how big are your files like whenever you have everything?
Yeah, they're pretty large. So how I record, let me go through that. So I live stream through Ecamm, which is a Mac only software, but it is one of the only softwares that makes it really easy to stream in 4K, which is what I want to do, because if I stream in 4K, I can record in 4K. So I stream and record at the same time. So I'm not like ripping my own stream and then editing that. I have a full, like, high level, recording of what I've done as well. And then anytime I do need to do recording in the studio, I just record through Ecamm as well. So I never deal with SD cards and stuff like that. So like, let's say it's let me just show you. You go grab my SSD? I can show you how big the files are.
Yeah.
Because it's different. It depends on obviously how long it is. But I would say a normal sort of like 3-hour stream is probably like, I don't want to say the wrong number, so I'll just pull it up. But
yeah, because that's where like I gotta get a way to. I gotta essentially get a NAS or something like where I can just have like a bank of all these old videos.
what I would do for you is not invest in a NAS right now. I don't think that's what you need to do. I think what you could probably do is get a big, like 16 terabytes on your desk sort of hard drive. Element sells a really cheap one. I think you can get it for like $150 or something.
Oh, wow.
And so that's what I used for years before NAS. NAS just makes it a little bit easier to be like, I don't have to worry about this. And if I really need something from home, I can, or from when I'm out, I can go to my network attached storage.
Yeah, because like I don't ever want to like delete footage unless like I have a feeling like that I'm not gonna touch that video ever again. Like some of the challenge videos are definitely like gone.
I've shamefully deleted a lot of footage.
Yeah, but like for like the Hobbit one, I'm never gonna delete because like that's one of the ones that popped off, and then the Elf one I'll probably never delete just because it may pop off or maybe I can revisit it or whatever. But yeah, I don't want to get to a point where I was deleting.
So I know it's probably a little bit hard to see, but this is my file system. So in here, I have some random stuff because I need to clean it up, but basically I've got, my work folder is really the main folder here of all the stuff. So I've got a bunch of stuff in here that I might need in the future. The important ones are like, stuff I'm working on. So even like Mike, his original channel, I've got some stuff we worked on back here. Isabella, I've got some stuff we worked on with her. But the main two, of course, are the Snipe Life and the Chosen Sleuth. And so you can see all these dates are generally live streams. So if I have like 9/21/25 live, this is a live stream. So I can go into this and I can kind of see like how it breaks up. And this is, it's not even on here. It's on my other SSD. So I record the actual footage onto a different SSD. Sorry.
Can you go get that, Vanessa? Yeah.
But basically, I'll separate these. So like, this is one live stream, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos, right, from that. So these 5 videos are the 5 videos I did this week. I'll say, as a guess, I think it's probably like 20-ish gigs for like 3 hours, maybe, something like that.
Okay, so so my footage, like, it just depends, like.
It'll depend on your codec for your camera, so that's the
It's about the same, but like, I would say like,
normal file size for like all my files and stuff is around like 60, 70 gigs, but I have like 6 or 7 hours of footage. Just because like, I'll keep the camera rolling, like even during like long cooks, just that way like it's easier to stitch. And then the only time I ever change, or I stop recording is when I have to change the battery, which won't be a issue.
Right, you got a dummy battery, right? Yeah, it just depends on your codec. Because if you're shooting, like, I have a camera that can shoot in, like, RAW, right? Like, that's going to be, like, literally, I film for 5 minutes and it's, like, 20, 30 minutes, you know? So it just depends on what you're shooting. But, yeah. Alright, organizational systems, super, super important. Publishing systems. This is, I suck at this for short form, which is why it partially annoys me. Which is, like, it's just super annoying to, like, post all these little things all the time everywhere. It's, like, the most annoying thing ever. So it's not part of my system, which is why it annoys me, right? Which is why I have such pushback and hesitation towards shorts. It's like, I don't feel comfortable with them, right? It's not part of my system. If it was, I would feel better, right? Or a way that I could see that I could make it part of my system. Repurposing systems, again, not part of my system. Probably something you guys are probably better at than me, right? I'm not very good at that. And then business systems. So taxes, things like that, right? You want to be on top of those type of things. My wife really helps with all the business stuff for me. I'm not a tax guy, I'm not a business guy, but I would think of these systems and how you're operating within them, within your businesses and your creation. So, the big thing that I want to say is systems create freedom for you. I know that a lot of people can see these systems as like a cage, like someone like Dino, I think for sure, like I feel like he's such a free spirit that some people like that can see systems like this as a cage or as like a restriction. And there's a portion of that that's true, right? But you want that restriction. Like if you just have free reign to do whatever you want at all times, that will hurt you way more, I feel like, than actually having the system to help you create what you need to create, right? Yeah. That's why we have like the government the way that it is, right? There's a lot of red tape, but without any of that red tape, it would be mayhem, right? It would be crazy. We use a little bit less though. So systems equal freedom. It gives you a clear trajectory. This one's interesting here. A plannable path. Like I said, predictability is really, really important. So a plannable path forward. It means that every single Sunday, I know that I'm going to do a live stream. It means that I know that in February, when ChosenCon comes, I have to be ready to do a live stream about the things that are going to be talked about at ChosenCon for that time, right? So I'm already planned to that point. I know that while I'm in Israel, I'm not going to be able to do my systems. So I'm going to have to figure out something else to go out during that time, or I'm going to have to announce that I'm taking a break, right? And let people know what's going on during that time. Less drastic swings in content. So again, if you're more consistent, you're not going to have these like, I haven't posted in 3 months and my next video might do this or it might do that. The algorithm might react to it in a different way, right? If YouTube knows that you're posting more consistently every week, every 2 weeks, whatever it is, every month, you're going to have less drastic swings in like, I have a 150,000 view video and then I have a 1,000 view video. Like those swings are going to be less dramatic. For sure. And then also better analytical tracking, I think is really, really important. So as you have your systems, not only are you posting more, not only are you consistent, but also you'll be able to look back at these analytics and see more consistent analytics as well, where you're guessing way less. Where like if you have a video that popped off and a video that's just trash, then like those analytics, both of them are pretty useless. But if you have 10 videos that are like more even, then you can see way more of a through line through everything, and the analytics are just way more clear. So, yeah. Alright, so the questions, just like always. These are just things I would ask yourself if you have a moment to work through. So, where do you lose the most time in your creative process? This may be some pain points that you have in your systems. Which part of your workflow causes the most frustration? This may be something that you might want to hire out in the future as part of your systems. For me, I would love to hire out editing. I don't really want to do a ton of editing myself. That's why I live stream and I edit for 15 minutes. You know? Like, it's just what it is. So, like for this night life, I would love to be able to quickly, let's make some money, let's hire an editor, you know, let's do this. I would love to do that. If you could automate or simplify one task, what would it be? Again, thinking through that, thinking through what you want to do, what you don't want to do. What system would make consistency easier for you? What system do you struggle with the most, you know? That idea. And then what would your content look like if your systems were running smoothly? Ideally, how often would you want to post? What would it look like for you to be traveling every, like we talked about? If you could go traveling and do 10 videos and then come back and take 10 weeks off, you know, what would that look like for you? Would that be sustainable? These are my questions for how. Any other thoughts about systems? You guys think you're good at systems, bad at systems? Yeah.
So would this be, this is just one random example, but for my new stuff, the hope is that I can commit to like one YouTube video a week, and then I plan on making like 4 to 5 shorts a week. So would that be like, all right, Monday I film, Tuesday, Wednesday I edit, whatever, and stuff like that? Yeah. Is that kind of what you're talking about? Just be consistent.
Definitely a part of it, yeah. And like I said, Matt will put out a video or he will die. Like that's the type of intensity that you have to have. Right. Like we had a friend last year. We did a retreat similar to this, but way like it was more like foundational. Like here's how to make a YouTube video. Like very very intro. Yeah. And we have a friend Brett who's like actually blew up in Minecraft YouTube. Like his edits were insane. Maybe we'll show you one in a bit. But really really good. Like high level Minecraft type of edit stuff. Yeah. And he blew up and was doing incredibly well, like making several $1,000s a month and stuff. And like his problem was like in January he was like, I'm gonna make a video a week, and then he just didn't put out anything, literally nothing, for like 6 months or something. So he just got overwhelmed, and so don't put yourself in a position where you promise yourself too much. Be realistic, but at the same time you just need to have your systems. Like he could have put out a video a week, but that means he's going to compromise on some of the things where it takes him 3 months to edit. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So you need to have systems that allow you to be where you need to be. For me, live streaming works. Yes, I could make my intros better. Yes, I could edit this video to have this, and that, and the other, right? But with my live streaming, I'm able to do most of that in camera live, right? I'm able to put the screens up, and to watch the thing, and to bring up this tab, and to do these things, right? To bring up a comment and talk about it, right? All that I'm able to do live so that I don't have to do it in editing later on, right? And like this is what I'm teaching Isabella as well. While she's not going to do live streaming, I'm trying to get her to do a lot of this in camera live, so that it's just easier for her to make stuff and put it out faster.
And I think one of the things that I struggle with too, and this is, both of us, we ever since we got married up until like a week ago, we lived in a studio apartment, and for me, there was so much friction in me going to the closet, grabbing all the lights, and there's just no freaking space, and and so she has to go to the opposite end of the kitchen, which is our bedroom, because they're like really attached to one another. Yeah. And so like for me, this is something I was talking to her about. Like we moved to a much bigger space now. So one thing that I really struggled with was like I want to make a system where the camera's already set up. Yep. I click one button. Yep. All the lights come on, and I just sit down and I record. Just make it as frictionless as possible for me to sit down and actually make.
Yeah, I walk into my studio, I say, "Hey Google, turn on work," and all my lights, everything comes on.
Really? Yeah. I'm gonna need to talk to you some more.
I feel like Dino could really benefit from watching one of Brett's videos, just because I feel like he's a great storyteller. Yeah. But I feel like obviously your content's very different, but
sure.
I feel like the root of it is very similar.
Yeah.
Who's Brett? Sorry.
We'll check it out.
Oh, okay.
She's a female Ben Shapiro.
Oh, Brett.
Jelly.
Okay.
Any other thoughts about systems before we move on?
I definitely agree. Like, it's funny, like, even though I am more like free flowing, I feel like having a system actually gives you more freedom, more flexibility, maybe is a good word too. It's like, it frees up your brain, but something I guess is a question is like, how do you, at least that I've been struggling with, is there are certain things that are maybe more abstract and more like I feel it in the moment, you know what I mean? So I think that's something I've been struggling with creating a system around, is like, okay, like I don't have a process. I couldn't tell you how I come up with the music choices or the I don't know, some of the graphics I make. I don't know, like sometimes I'm just like, I'm just gonna film this bit and that's gonna be it. So I guess I don't know if you have any thoughts on like taking things that are a little bit more conceptual, abstract, and how do you at least put systems that support it instead of just making it such a huge lift every time? Yeah.
Can you rephrase that one? Like,
I'll rephrase it in like, how do you create systems that support creative work without completely removing the creativity aspect?
Oh, I see.
And like the randomness.
Yeah.
I mean, we use Notion, so
Yeah.
like I'm gonna talk to you about like Notion itself
Yeah.
here, but there has to be that level of structure. You have that in the ideation part, but you have to also have it in the execution part. And when you marry those two things together, it becomes less of a lift because you have like that system in place. So for example, if you have kind of like that list that you have all these ideas and you know, is this a good idea? Is this not? Once it turns from, okay, this isn't something I want to execute, you move it into a different stage, right? Like a different progress. And that progress is you're in the planning process of it. Like, yes, it's a good idea, now I'm planning. You know? And in planning, you're like, it kind of moves into a different workflow because now you can fill in, okay, where am I going? When am I going? How am I filming? What am I taking to film? Whatever it is that you want there to be. You know, once that is completed and you're like, okay, I have my date, all this stuff, you go, you film it, and then you come back into like a calendar version of it, and then you schedule it out. So you're like, one of the biggest things like I feel people have inconsistency with is they don't set a date in their mind. They're like, when I'm done with the YouTube video, then I'll post it.
Right.
And I don't think it should be that way. I think like 2 weeks from today, I'm gonna post this YouTube video.
Right.
So whatever I gotta do in between to make it happen, that gives you the structure in your mind. But also you still have the creative freedom, and you can figure out how long it takes you on average and use that as your baseline. But for us, we're very like, I could show you kind of like our Notion page for one of our clients, and you could see like we have hundreds of content pieces, and if we don't like think ahead to like next week or 2 weeks ahead, then we're always going to be behind, and we're always going to be on the eight ball. We're always going to be failing. We're always going to be so you have to stay ahead of yourself. And so go from ideation to kind of like that execution, and Notion's a phenomenal tool to do that because you can just like turn one thing into the next stage and then the next stage. And, that's kind of what I would do, and it doesn't remove any of the creativity because you're still in charge of it in that way. And then once it's posted, right? This is the other part. It's like following back up with yourself. It's like, okay, I've posted it, and I posted this thing last week. Like, let me go check the analytics. Let me go check this. What can I do better? What can I do that? And then like make it. It's more circular than you think, you know, because this video can give me a new idea. Like. This video can do well, but if you're just like posting forgetting, you're missing out on all the stuff we were talking about yesterday. Could this be repurposed? Could I do this in shorts? Could I turn this idea to this? And so you can create kind of like this pipeline system that's circular and less like linear, which is a lot more fun.
Totally.
You know, and I think you and me are very similar in that regard.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, it's like, even though like I do enjoy systems. Like, I don't want to feel like boxed into those types of things. You know, we talked about like the systems are freedom, but for me, I think what that looks like practically is, let's just assume that Monday becomes my new filming day. I'm not going to limit myself to say, oh, if I have a really good idea on Wednesday or Thursday, then I'm not just going to turn on the setup and go record it and really edit it that night and really put out a video like that day. Because I think for you and me, just based off of what I know about you, is like sometimes you just randomly get a really creative itch and you're just like, oh my gosh, it clicks, and then I know what to do.
Totally.
And then you just go do it, and technically you're breaking your law, but like kind of the biblical reference is that like the law is not supposed to be there to, and well, Jesus fulfilled the law, of course. It's like God made the Sabbath for man, not the man for Sabbath.
Right. That's
so,
good.
It's supposed to be like a help, but it's like you gotta break it. I mean,
Notion specifically, you can like literally drag something to a different day. Like it's not like you. It's
very
rigid. Like we do this all the time. We're always like moving things around, and you know, I get ideas all the time because I'm the same way. I'm very like creative. But I learned as a creative that I have to run on some sort of rails, or else I'll go off the rails completely. So like the rails can be flexible. They can bend and this and that, but. Because of my creative brain and how it operates, I get thousands of ideas in a week, and then if I acted on every single idea, it would be a loss for everyone. That's kind of why Ben is such a help to me, because he's like, I'm like, hey Ben, I just thought of this, and he's like,
Is it a good idea?
Is it though?
Is it doable?
We all need a Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I think it changes when you go full time as well.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, it's like I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice, bro.
I'm
Like,
doing it. Yeah.
You know, I gotta do it for our family. I have to do it. We just bought a house. Like, this is like, I still create the stuff that I want to create. And I don't feel pressure to be like, I need the views. You know, I need the views. Like, I don't feel that way. But it's definitely like I'm a neurotic procrastinator. Like, very much like 2 minutes before something is due, I am doing it. You know.
Yeah.
But it'll be good.
Yeah.
You know,
It'll be
like,
fresh.
I'm gonna do it well.
You must have worked really hard on this for a long time.
Like, like Vanessa hated when I was going through college because it would be like the night before and I'm like doing something, or the day up and I'm doing something, right? But I would always get it done. You know, for the most part. And so for me, like I have to have that day. Like I said, I don't know 100% what I'm going to talk about tomorrow if I do a live stream. But it's like I know that live stream is going to be good, and I'm going to talk about things that are good, right? So, anyway, all that to say,
No, that's helpful.
Everything works a little different. What I would do in your systems is just create a time for you to be more creative. So, like, leave yourself space within the system to move around and do things and just be creative and have that flexibility. So,
that's good.
Yeah, very, very cool. Anything about systems markers?
Heck no. We can tell you everything not to do with the system.
Actually, very valuable. Funny enough.
Bryce's business systems have to be good though.
Yeah. We can tell you everything what not to do with the YouTube creators, because we did not do that very well at all. Like Brandon told me from the beginning, like you have to be organized, you have to do this, and I am a very organized person, and like details are like I do focus on details and stuff, but I'm also a computer illiterate person.
Should keep on like losing the original clips. We couldn't find them.
I literally like I have no idea where they are. I just moved them over and I thought they were in here and now I don't know where they are. And it was so horrible. But I also get confused because like Bryce would film something and it would be for next week and I'm like, okay, well I don't know what we're gonna do with that. But we were posting like we tried to post once a week and we did that for a while I felt like. But I would get confused on like, okay, well is this for this week or is this for next week or is this for 2 weeks from today? Like, and then it would just like get lost somewhere. So
yeah, we definitely, looking back at it now, like I should have filmed each video on a different SD card. But it was such a crazy time because it was like a point in my business where I was working, like we were growing. And it's like one of those like anyone in here who's done a business with employees and is trying to grow. That's like been at that point where they're like, I just have to do this. And YouTube was more like I'm just filming my life chaotically right now and trying to figure out what video could come out of it instead of planning a video and then going into it with an end game in mind. So like the videos were all over the place. Editing was all over the place. I'd bring the camera in, sometimes she'd dump the footage, sometimes she wouldn't, so I'd go to pick the camera up the next day for the next video and all the old footage, and I'd have to sit with her and edit and say, hey, that video stops here, don't put that in the Final Cut, put that into this folder, and so it was just a nightmare. But that was also, we were living with my parents while our house was getting built, and our baby was waking up 6 times a night.
Nothing crazy going on.
Yeah, so I think
we also had no idea what we were doing.
Right.
Well, you have automations to put your baby back to sleep.
What?
True.
Hey Google, put my baby.
One thing I'm very excited about the new house is having the entire because now we have this little prayer corner, but now I think we're going to turn that probably into almost like a podcast short room for her maybe. And I'm going to have my desk. I'm going to put a big whiteboard on the wall so I can write everything that's in my brain, like word vomit onto there, get it out of my head. And then have some better. I've always been a very structured person, but like over the last couple of years, like all that has just gone. All my systems. Like one of the things that makes me so successful in business is that I have systems in place and I have things that I do. And a lot of those have gone away. I remember, like,
Okay, I'm off.
Hey, Dino, really safe travels, big dog.
Bye, guys. See y'all.
Hope you find your dad.
Hope you find your keys. Well, I think I've got everything. Okay. Adios. Actually, I need to take a picture of this real quick.
Ooh, good blue. That's true. Because they were. Yeah.
Hey, I see you on there. Alright, we're gonna look at Matt's channel.
Alright.
Look at what works, what hasn't worked.
Alright, Mike. Started with us and it's ending with us. That's deep. Wow. Alright, I'm back. We out here, you might say. Now, I promised you one huge takeaway, and it's been a few days, and I've been thinking about it, so here it is. Here's the takeaway. Have you ever tried to make a fire? Have you? Have you ever tried to make a fire? Okay, it's possible. It's possible to do it yourself. You can go out in the woods. You can make it. You can do whatever you have in your arsenal. If you've got wood, if you've got a hatchet, if you've got wood, if you've got flint, straw, whatever, you can do it. You can do it on your own. And you know what? Let's just say you get the fire started. Let's say you figure out how to just muscle and make the fire. Now you got to keep the fire going. You got to chop wood. You have to go out. You have to find wood, chop it, make sure it's good, put it in, then tend to the fire. You got to keep the wood properly in the right space. You got to do all these things to just keep the fire going. And eventually, you're just going to get too tired. You can do it. You can do it probably for a long time if you really need to. But eventually, you're going to get tired. You're physically, maybe not even mentally. Because most likely, mentally, you're going to get tired first. You're going to be like, man, I got to do this again? Golly. And there's only one way to get fire. There's only one way to find firewood. And you kind of you get exhausted. But then, let's just say you get physically tired. Let's say you never get mentally tired. You get physically tired. And eventually, your body just can't move anymore. And you just can't keep the fire going. Then what? Then it's over, right? Fire dies. And you're stuck. And then the fire, there's nothing left. And you fizzle out. You fizzle out, quite literally. But there's a better way. Have you ever gone camping with friends? You know, you got a big group of guys, big group of friends, guys and girls potentially. Keeping the fire going is really easy. You actually have to decide when to put the fire out. It's not if, it's when are we going to put the fire out if we want to. And usually it's when you go to sleep, because make sure you don't leave fires going at night, okay? It's just PSA, all right? Let's not burn down any forests. But you chip in. Someone's chopping wood. Someone's tending to the fire. Maybe you switch. Maybe like someone's sitting down tending the fire for a little bit, talking, whatever. And then, you end up switching out. Someone else gets firewood. I remember I went camping a couple months ago, and that's exactly what happened. I got all the fire together. We all started the fire together, actually. But then I was kind of tending to the fire for a while, and then it started to die out, and I got tired. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. And my friend Robbie, he started making fun of me, and then I was like, why don't you freaking do it? Here we go. I was like, why don't you freaking go ahead and like work on the fire? I've been doing this all night. So he did, and it worked. And it's one of those things where you can balance off each other and you can re-energize each other, and the fire stays lit. And it's way easier. It's actually much more sustainable. Well, that's what this weekend was for me. That's what I think in general the takeaway is how important getting other creators around you is. Finding other people who are chasing after the same thing, specifically YouTube success, and learning from them, sharing your knowledge with them. A lot of people mention it's like, do you want to be a pond or a retention pond where the water just stagnates, all your knowledge is in one place, and you just kind of sit there, and then it gets all gross and mosquitoes start to lay their eggs and it's all gross? Or do you want to be a flowing river, right? Things are going in, things are going out. And you know what? The water stays cleaner. The water stays more energized when it does that. So I think that's good for you back home to be thinking about, is like, how can I get around other people in my area? And you know what? I was challenged to do that at this trip, and I already reached out to someone, and we're going to be connecting and meeting up for lunch here in Orlando within the next month or so. So I feel so much more refreshed and energized with what I'm going to do, and like I have a better idea of where I'm going when I didn't know how to even approach that or get there before this trip. So that's my main takeaway. Get around some other people. It's important. Spend the money, travel, sacrifice a little bit of time, get around the people you need. Thanks for watching, and we'll see how this year of 2026 goes. Wish me luck. All right, peace. Bye.